From Radio Iowa Sports, this is the Scouting Report, an in-depth look at this week's prep and college games. Now from our studios in Des Moines, Todd Kim.
The Hawkeyes will be looking to pull an upset against 11th-ranked Indiana. The Cyclones try to stay unbeaten under the lights against Arizona. And some key matchups in Class A highlight Week 5 of the high school season. That and more on the Scouting Report.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
In last week's Big Ten opening win at Rutgers, Iowa showed something it has not featured in several years, the ability to win with offense. They'll need that and even more tomorrow when they host an 11th-ranked Indiana team that Kirk Ferentz says looks a lot like Ohio State. The high-flying Hoosiers put up 63 points in a blowout win over Illinois, and it's hard to imagine the Hawkeye defense will be able to keep the score down.
I think we have a chance now to hopefully be a team that can score a little bit more than we had the last couple of years. That's been part of the goal, and but it's kind of accumulation of a lot of things. You got to have a line that can block. You got to have a quarterback that can operate, and I think we're probably a little bit better at our receiver position, and we've had good backs, but I think we got a good group right now. So hopefully we have enough balance where we can make them have to defend us a couple different ways, and then find some ways to come up with some points.
8 of Iowa's 10 sacks have occurred in the last 2 games. Getting to Hoosier quarterback Fernando Mendoza, though, won't be easy with his quick release. Hawkeye linebacker Jackson Rexroth.
Our D-line, they're always going. I think they're probably figuring it out a lot more, too. But those guys, we have a lot of faith in those guys up front because they are so talented and they are getting to the quarterback so fast. So, I mean, I can't tell you why there's a difference in those two stats, but I think they're always going the whole time. And I don't think much has changed. They just happen to get to the quarterback.
Kickoff in Kinnick Stadium is 2:35. It'll be televised by Peacock. 14th-ranked Iowa State returns from a bye week to host Arizona in a whiteout. The Cyclones face 2 key tests in this one: run the ball against a stout Wildcat defense, and the Cyclones need to find a way to slow down Arizona dual-threat quarterback Noah Fafita. Not only has Fafita thrown for 712 yards and 6 touchdowns, his ability to scramble helps extend drives.
Boy, is he confident. He's confident where he's going with the football. He's got elite arm strength. He's got the ability to make all the throws, which is uber impressive. And yes, he is mobile, but he's also confident enough to step up in the pocket and make the big throws over the middle. And that's what's really impressive about him.
That's Iowa State coach Matt Campbell. The Cyclones enter the game with a record of 4-0. Arizona is 3-0. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff in Jack Trice Stadium. It'll be televised by ESPN. High school football is next on the Scouting Report.
Okay, gotta be late. Gotta go. Where'd I put... wallet. Check. And, phone. Check. Keys. Check. Lunch. Check.
Checking for the things you need doesn't take long. But what about checking for your safety? Right now, 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road has an open safety recall. But it only takes seconds to check for open recalls on your car at checktoprotect.org. All you need is your vehicle identification number or license plate number. Your automaker may not have the right information to notify you about recalls by mail, especially if you recently moved or drive an older or used car. Checktoprotect.org is the quick, easy way to find out if your vehicle has an open safety recall and find the closest dealer who can make the repair for free.
Laptop. Check.
Before you go, take a minute. Visit checktoprotect.org. Check to Protect is a program of the National Safety Council.
the Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
As the high school season reaches week 5, the second half of the regular season begins for the smallest classes, and there are several key matchups in Class A. Number 4 ACGC is on the road to take on 9th-ranked Madrid. Ryan Wendt has a preview.
The Chargers come in with the number 5 offense in Class A and the number 3 defense. They take on a Madrid team that's only lost 6 times at home since 2020. You also have childhood friends who will be on opposite sides of the sidelines here tonight, as Cody Mathewson, a Madrid graduate coaching for ACGC, and Brock Hinkle coaching for Madrid. These two teams faced off last in 2023 in the quarterfinals in Class A, where the Tigers came up with a victory 21-14. For the Scouting Report on Radio Iowa, Ryan Wendt, KWBG Boone.
Also in Class A, top-ranked West Hancock is on the road at Lake Mills. Unbeatens collide as Nashua Plainfield hosts number 2 St. Ansgar. Mark Pitts reports.
The Huskies and Saints have had similar seasons to date, each winning 3 games by blowouts. Total offensive yards are almost identical, with 1,445 for Nashua Plainfield to 1,438 for St. Ansgar, with each team rushing for about 1,100 yards. NP coach Chase Sudol would like the Huskies to parallel the Saints even more.
St. Ansgar is kind of the type of program that we're trying to idolize. They've always been the dominant team, and that's what we're trying to get to. They're kind of the same way that I try to build our football team, and that's run the ball first and play good defense and not throw the ball as much.
It's also homecoming for Nashua Plainfield. The St. Ansgar head coach Drew Clevenger says the Saints are used to big game hype thanks to lots of playoff experience.
You know, this is a fun week. I don't think our kids will get lost in any hype or anything like that. These are the games that our kids get excited about. They know they're going to be pushed. They know it's going to be a physical game, and these are the ones that are fun. So we're just excited for the challenge.
The two programs were both ranked in the top 5 when they met last year in St. Ansgar, a 27-7 homecoming win for the Saints. The Huskies look to reverse the outcome for their homecoming Friday night in Nashua. Mark Pitts for the Radio Iowa Scouting Report.
There's one other rated matchup in Class A. It finds 7th-ranked Wapsie Valley on the road at number 8 Makokata Valley. There are 2 rated matchups at 8-player tonight. One finds 3rd-ranked Gladbrook Rhinebeck on the road at 8th-ranked Don Bosco. The other has 5th-ranked Audubon visiting number 9 Fremont Mills. 5A, 6th-ranked Sioux City East is on the road to visit number 5 Ankeny. The Black Raiders are 4-0, and coach Mike Winkelpleck says a heartbreaking 31-28 playoff loss a year ago to eventual runner-up West Des Moines Valley served as off-season motivation.
They've just kind of stewed on that, and with returning a lot of those guys that were a part of that team, I think they had a sour taste in their mouth, and it just is like, all right, we don't want to feel this again, and this is where we need to get to, and this is how we're going to get there.
Also in 5A, 4th-ranked Iowa City West is at home against number 8 Iowa City Liberty. This season, Bex is recognizing student athletes that are not only a star in athletics, but a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and in the ag industry. Trevor Block of Waukon has been involved in football, wrestling, track, and showing livestock, even though he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 2.
It comes down to work ethic and just, I guess, the desire to be able to compete alongside my friends at the same level, even though, you know, I might be at a disadvantage.
Tiara Tentiker of MMCRU has grown up on a family farm and has always enjoyed feeding the bottle calves.
One of my favorite memories was definitely like getting them to suck your fingers. And I know that sounds weird, but because they were looking for the bottle, and it was just a fun activity that we did all the time.
Karina Herrick of Osage has not grown up on a farm, but she's been showing livestock for several years.
I got involved in that in about 6th grade, and there was a farmer that kind of just let us show his cattle. We worked with them, and that was a great experience.
Denver's Cody Kepke has grown up around dairy cattle and enjoys competing in the show ring.
And also at the shows, just all the new people I get to meet and all the new opportunities that the dairy cattle and the shows have brought me, and all the people that just open stuff up for me, and it's great.
Nominate a student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart. The rest of Week 5 is next on the Scouting Report.
Every day, farmers rise before the sun and put everything they have into a job so few can do. Their courage, resilience, and relentless work shape the legacies and future of our country. At Beck's, we're proud to stand alongside those who don't wait to see what the world will do. They act, they lead, they are the difference. Beck's honors your commitment to your land, family, and purpose. And while we can't predict what the future holds, there is one thing we can do to change it, and that's be the difference. Right now, in every decision, and every season.
At Beck's, we believe that true champions are not just made on the field, but also in the heart. The Beck's Player with Heart Scholarship celebrates high school student athletes who show dedication, teamwork, and leadership, both in sports and in their communities. We're honoring those who go above and beyond, demonstrating passion, perseverance, and a commitment to making a difference. Nominate a high school student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
Rivals collide in a rated showdown in Class 1A as fifth-ranked Trainer visits number 6 Underwood. Tony Correa has a preview.
The rivalry between the teams goes to the competition together in the Western Iowa Conference, with the athletes facing each other in multiple sports over a season, according to trainer coach Jeff Casey.
Obviously, the proximity and being at conference schools and playing each other year-round in all the sports, and the kids know each other.
Underwood comes off a big district win over Tri-Center last week that coach Nate McHaleson says was helped by a fast start.
Had a great week of practice, came out and started really fast in the Tri-Center game, and led to a really good victory.
Casey has leaned on his seniors to take the reins of this Cardinal team this season.
These guys have done a really good job with owning a lot of the things that we do and taking the lead on some things in practice, and you see them helping out some of the younger guys.
McHaleson feels that the stakes keep getting higher whenever Underwood plays Trainer.
Recently, I think the stakes have been, really, really high, probably the last 5 or 6 years. It's, comes down to a district championship or a playoff win or something like that. We have a lot of respect for that program.
From KNOD Radio in Harlan, I'm Tony Correa for the Radio Iowa Scouting Report.
Also in 1A, 10th-ranked Clarion Goldfield Dows is at home to take on top-ranked Grundy Center and the Spartans' 43-game winning streak. Cowboys coach Caleb Vogel says Grundy Center presents a great challenge, but they're trying to treat it like it's just another game.
Continue to play our football, cowboy football. We're going to be tough, we're going to be physical, we're going to get after it for 4 quarters, no matter who we're playing. Grundy, yes, we have them tonight, but they're just another opponent to us. We're just going to take care of business, do our things, and great things will happen. But we have to be sound tonight. On offense, on defense, and on special teams.
Also in 1A, second-ranked West Lyon hosts Hinton. It's number 3 Regina Catholic at home against Durant. In Class 2A, top-ranked Kemper Catholic visits Southeast Valley. It's number 2 Van Meter at Clarinda, while third-ranked Osage is on the road at New Hampton. 3A, Maquoketa's at home against fourth-ranked Mount Vernon. Justin Jaden reports.
The Mustangs come off a dominant 56-0 win over Fort Madison after losing their only game to second-ranked Solon the week prior. Maquoketa, on the other hand, looks to bounce back after a 35-14 loss at Clinton last Friday night. Here's Cardinals head coach Riley Brockway on hosting the highly ranked Mustangs.
We talked about all week just getting back to the basics and what we're good at. We don't need to come up with a whole new game plan and schemes and those things to play a good team like Mount Vernon. We just got to get to what we do well and keep our guys playing hard and be ready to compete. I think that's the biggest thing when you're going up against good teams like this is some people tend to just bow down and let them do whatever they want. But we want to make sure that we're coming out ready to compete with the right mindset and ready to play fast and physical.
Mount Vernon quarterback Kellen Haverback ranks third in 3A with 859 yards through the air this season. And Maquoketa receiver Cole Cobe ranks top 5 in the class with 23 receptions and over 10 yards per catch on the year. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm Justin Jaden, KMAQ Radio Maquoketa.
There's a couple of rated matchups in 3A. One of them finds top-ranked Clear Lake on the road at number 7 Independence, while third-ranked Bishop Heelan visits 10th-ranked Sioux Center. Also, number 2 Solon visits Fairfield. Class 4A, 6th-ranked Fort Dodge opens the District 1 race at home tonight against third-ranked Sergeant Bluff Luton. Fort Dodge coach Nick Mosier says the Dodger defense will need to be sound against Sergeant Bluff Luton's run-heavy offense.
They're not so much triple option as they are, jet sweeps and counters back and quarterback powers and trap and plays like that. So it's all 11 doing their job and making sure they're where they're supposed to be at all times.
Also in 4A, it's top-ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier visiting Cedar Rapids, Washington, while number 2 Pella's on the road at Marion. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchups. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
And it's time for the Friday Night Tailgate Show here on Hometown and Home Country Radio. I'm Tyler Lance with you for this one. Well, it's a big week for the West Bend Mallard Wolverines as they picked up back-to-back district wins, defeating Northwood Kensett and North Iowa the past 2 weeks. After this 2-0 start in district play, the Wolverines face a big test, a toughening schedule down the stretch, and it all starts today with their homecoming matchup against the Riceville Wildcats. A couple of playoff hopefuls are going at it in that game, so we'll talk with West Bend Mallard Wolverine football coach Tyson Wirtz about that. As far as the North Union football team is concerned this week, they do not have a game as their original district game against Rockford was canceled, so it's a week off for North Union before they take on Bishop Garrigan next week. We will talk next week with Coach Ernster, but we'll give them the week off this week from the Friday Night Tailgate Show. We'll get to Coach Wirtz. He's coming up next after these messages.
The Homestead Country Store invites you to stop by their location at 203 South Broadway Avenue in West Bend, where you're sure to find all your favorite candies and snacks. Let's not forget the ice cream. Do you need syrup for your pancakes or waffles? Check out their New York syrup. Homestead Country Store has a wide variety of supplies from King Arthur brand all-purpose and wheat flour to spices and herbs for your canning supplies. From our homestead to yours, you'll find what you need at the Homestead Country Store in downtown West Bend. Tired of being another boring and generic ride in the parking lot? If you want to stand out, call Raw Customs in West Bend today. From wheels, tires, fender flares, lift kits, running boards, bed covers, to upgrading to LED lighting. No matter what your preferences are, they have all the accessories you could possibly want with the quality and service you deserve. If you want to turn heads, call Raw Customs to upgrade your classic or muscle car, truck, side-by-side, and more at 515-887-2800.
And it's time for the Friday Night Tailgate Show here on Hometown and Home Country Radio. As right now we're talking West Bend Mallard football with head coach Tyson Wirtz. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time today on the program.
Yeah, Tyler, appreciate you having us on. Thank you.
Coach, let's begin by going back to last week and revisiting that 58-18 win over North Iowa. We talked on Saturday, Coach, about that being a game, especially a second half, that'll really help this team take a step forward as far as confidence is concerned. How would you describe where your team's at when they're playing confident football? And was there a point last week where you felt your team was able to walk into that mindset?
Yeah, when they're playing confidently, I mean we got a lot of raw ability. I feel like this year it's young, but you got a lot of guys that are learning spots and they're developing a lot. So when their level of confidence is up and they're doing what they're supposed to, we just really hit another level. We've never had an issue this year with bad attitudes or work or any of that. That's not the problem at all. It's just a matter of getting the experience. So I think it's just one of those things that just has to develop over time. And I think in the second half we did see it right out of the gate, coming out of halftime, that guys were talking. You could hear them rah-rah in the huddle and everything else, and senior leadership was stepping up and saying, we're better than this, we can do this, we believe in ourselves, all that stuff. So I'd say really that whole second half we saw it.
And, Coach, momentum's obviously a big thing in any sport, including football, but I imagine it's not always easy to carry over because you get that big win and then you wait 7 days to go out there and try to do it again, especially with the younger kind of team that you guys have this year. What are some habits or practices you've tried to instill in the team over time to make sure you keep momentum going from 1 week to the next?
Yeah, a lot of it's just routine. It's, doing a lot of the same stuff over and over, which this time of year kind of becomes a struggle because they start to get tired of it a little bit, but helping them understand that this is what we do week to week. Like, this is how we prepare for the next team and the next team. And, momentum is big, but it is kind of tough to capture it over the weekend. They kind of rest up and they're sore and they're tired, and then Monday comes around, the JV takes off for their game. And so you're not wrong that it is a little bit tough to maintain it, and especially this week we've got homecoming as an extra distraction. So just really trying to reset them every day at 3:30 and get them out to practice and get them focused on what we need to do.
And, Coach, needless to say for this homecoming game, big matchup against fellow playoff hopeful Riceville. They had a bit of trouble getting it going offensively the first couple of weeks, but the past 2 weeks, they've been able to find their stride and put some bigger point totals on the board. What have you seen from the Riceville offense, and what do the Wolverines need to do on defense this week to be successful?
Yeah, they struggled the first couple of weeks, partially because they were missing their starting quarterback, and so he's back now the last 2 weeks, and he throws the ball well, but they also run the ball really physically. So they're a lot more balanced team than maybe we saw a couple years ago when we played them, and so pretty even spread of passing and throwing. They got a couple backs that are one one of them's pretty quick, and one of them's super physical and tough to bring down. And so a lot of it's the same thing as every week. We got to stay disciplined on our assignments, and I think this week especially the biggest thing to clean up on defense is we got to make sure that we're in our gap assignment and that we're making clean tackles, because they've got a couple guys in the backfield that certainly are either going to make us miss or they're going to run us over if we're not clean there.
We're talking West Bend Mallard football right now with head coach Tyson Wirtz. Coach, on the other side of the ball, Riceville held Norfolk Kensett to 12 points last week, which was their best defensive game so far. What challenges do you see this Wildcat defense presenting to you, and how do you go about attacking them on offense?
Yeah, they just seem to be a good, disciplined, tough defense. They're not big by any means. It's not like they have massive guys up front, but they're scrappy. You can tell they get off the ball quick. You can tell they got kind of a lot of them with like wrestler mentalities where they're shooting into gaps and they're getting ankles and they're getting after it. So they're definitely going to be up in our face pretty quick. We're not going to be able to sit back and wait for them. We're going to have to get off the ball and get after them. Our biggest focus this week is really turnovers, is cleaning all that stuff up. That's kind of been a struggle for us all 3 games we've had this year, is making sure that we're holding on to the ball.
And, Coach, going to be a big game, great atmosphere of homecoming as well. What's the final message to the guys before they go out onto the field on Friday night?
Trying to, instill that confidence again. Like you said earlier, we have a little bit of momentum, so we want to get them in believing that they can win a game, but not expecting that they can just show up and just automatically get the win. Like, they're going to have to show up and be disciplined right from the get-go. So walk that line, really, of, focus on believing you can do this, but at the same time, don't get arrogant, don't get carried away thinking that the other team's going to let you have it.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time today on the Tailgate Show and wish you best of luck against Riceville this week.
We appreciate it, Tyler. Talk to you later.
That's West Bend Mallard head football coach Tyson Wirtz here on your Friday Night Tailgate Show. Like I mentioned earlier, North Union does not have a game this week, so no Coach Ernster this week on the Tailgate Show. With that, we're going to wrap things up and get you to your pregame next on KLGA and KLGZ.
It's time to hit the field. That's it for Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show.
Get ready for football with the Garrigan Golden Bear pregame show. Brought to you by your Edward Jones representatives Bruce Keith, Jerry Soka, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. We've got interviews with coaches, the starting lineups, Kimnaw Auto Center's keys to the game, the Grassmasters field conditions report, Algona Plumbing and Heating's game time temperature, Eyes on Thornton's coin toss, and more as we preview tonight's matchup. The pregame is also brought to you by Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare, JDR Seeds of Wesley, Tom Eishin Sales, your store in the country, Banwork Trucking of Odison, Cook's Scrap Iron and Metal, family owned since 1913, and Algona Feed Store, livestock, dog, and cat food. Here's Tyler Lance on the Golden Bear Edward Jones pregame show.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into another Friday night here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream as we're broadcasting live from Conway Field at Bishop Garrigan High School. It's been domination so far for the Golden Bears, and that did not change last week. A 65-6 win over rival St. Edmund in a non-district contest in Fort Dodge. Golden Bears got on a roll early once again, and they did not relinquish the pressure on St. Edmund all throughout the night. Good in all phases, scoring on offense, defense, and special teams in that win. And with that, they turn the page to another non-district contest tonight, welcoming 3-1 Turkey Valley. And this game, of course, was not originally on the schedule. Bishop Garrigan was supposed to play a district game this week against Rockford. Unfortunately, Rockford ends up canceling their football season this year. On the Turkey Valley side of things, they were supposed to play Dunkerton this week, and unfortunately, Dunkerton also canceled their football season. So both these teams had an opening in the schedule. Unfortunately, it worked out where Turkey Valley could come all the way here to Algona, Iowa, and take on the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears tonight, in which should be a non-district matchup between two pretty solid teams. Turkey Valley right now, they're in the middle of a gauntlet portion of their schedule. I would venture to say the toughest 3-week schedule any team in the A-player class has. Last week facing number 10 Edgewood Colesburg, as Edgewood Colesburg handed Turkey Valley their first loss of the season, 46-22. This week doesn't get any easier as they face the top-ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears based on the Radio Iowa poll. Then next week, Turkey Valley, they're back at home, but they're taking on number 8-ranked Don Bosco. So this 3-week stretch is really going to test Turkey Valley out and see what exactly they're made of. But they did get off to a 3-0 start to this season, and now we'll try to spring a big upset over the number 1-ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. But won't be easy. It's been domination all all around, like we talked about so far in the season, Bishop Garrigan ranked number 6 out of 69 8-player teams in points per game. They're ranked number 2 out of 69 teams in defensive points per game allowed, as Bishop Garrigan's only allowed 8 points per game so far on this young season. So both sides of the ball have been clicking for the Golden Bears. Some big special teams play to add on to that as well and really complement this team and give it a good all-around feel here in this number 1 ranked spot in the Radio Iowa poll. So again, it's 3-1 Turkey Valley, 4-0 Bishop Garrigan coming up here at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. We'll get to that, but first on your Edward Jones pregame show, we'll talk with both head coaches. They're coming up after these messages on KLGZ.
You shouldn't need an advanced degree to figure out how to pay for one. Hi, I'm Brady Ross, your Algona Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help you understand all the options you have when paying for an education. Whether you're the first in your family to attend college or planning for a grandchild to build on a legacy that goes back generations, let's work together to take care of your unique financial needs. Call me at 515-295-7763 to get started today. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Cook Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Think Cooks for all your new steel and welding supplies. Do you have any leftover material you don't need anymore? Cooks will take your scrap iron and scrap metal too. A family-owned business since 1913. Cooks Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Call them today at 515-295-2512 or stop in at 900 East McGregor Street, Algona.
Is your student athlete on the injured list? We can help. This is Wendy Wagner, Physical Therapy Assistant at Kasuth Regional Health Center. As a former student athlete and coach, I want to help you get back in the game feeling healthy and injury-free. Our staff works closely with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all our area athletes this season. We will be cheering for you.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
And high school football is coming up here on Home Country Radio KLGZ as Turkey Valley takes on Bishop Garrigan. And we're joined right now by Turkey Valley head coach Mark Scott. Coach, first of all, we appreciate your time today on the pregame show. It's been a good start so far for Turkey Valley. 3-1 at the halfway point of the regular season and 2-0 for you guys in district play. So what have been some of the biggest keys or biggest things that have stood out to you so far from this 3-1 start?
Our kids have been executing pretty well on our offense, and we've done a pretty good job of adjusting to what other teams are trying to do to us on offense, and then on defense, we're still working on getting better.
And Coach, this week you have an extra non-district game as your original game against Donkerton was canceled, and obviously picking up a road game this week against Bishop Garrigan. So kind of a long road trip for the guys and facing a tough opponent. But with that being said, why did you feel it was important to add the game this week and to make sure the guys were able to get a game in?
The state cut us back to 8 regular season games a few years ago. So when you start losing games, that's one more opportunity those young men don't have to go out and play football on Friday night. Now, that's probably the major decision. They come out and they work hard. They work, they get in the weight room. They do the things you're supposed to do, and then they don't get a play. I mean, that's just not fair to the kids. So we didn't have many options, so we decided that this would be our only option and would take advantage of it.
Well, coaches, you've gotten your preparations underway for this week. What have been some of the biggest things that have jumped out to you about Bishop Garrigan on film heading into this game?
How big they are. They got some very large young men up front, and they got a big back. I mean, they're a pretty good size. They have some pretty good sized young men running around up front.
Coach, what are some of the biggest things you're focused on executing this week, or some of the biggest keys for Turkey Valley in this one?
Well, just do the things that we do. No matter who we play, we got to be able to execute. Our offense, our plays, make sure we're getting to the positions we're supposed to be in to make the block or the run, catch the ball when we throw it. And then on defense, realize that we're going to give up some yards, but just don't give up the big play if we can afford, if we can.
Coach, final thing I had for you this week. It's a pretty grueling 3-week stretch. You guys play Edgewood Colesburg last week. You play Bishop Garrigan this week, and then Don Bosco the week after that. So I'd say that's one of the toughest 3-game stretches an 8-man team probably has this year. With that being said, what do you kind of expect to learn about your guys as you face some of the best competition in the state here over this 3-week period?
Well, the biggest thing is we hope we come through it healthy. That's, to be quite honest with you. But as when you play better competition, your kids get. That way, if we make the playoffs, we'll be, we have an idea what will be, different quality we'll be facing. Like last week, we faced a team that was very fast, and you can't simulate speed in your practice field if you don't have it. And the same with this week, where we're going to be playing bigger, tougher kids. So our kids will be have an idea what that's like if we make the playoffs and get into play teams like that.
Coach, we wish you best of luck in this game against Bishop Garrigan, and thank you for the time today on the pregame show.
Thank you, sir.
That's Turkey Valley head coach Mark Scott with his pregame thoughts. When we come back, more of your Edward Jones pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Hi, I'm Bruce Keith, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help make your retirement goals a reality. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we get you there. Together, we can plan for the expected and make sure you're ready for the unexpected. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sokup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
At Wiffles Hybrids, they're completely focused on developing and producing the very best seed corn on the planet. A snack they've been polishing for more than 70 years, right here in the heart of the Corn Belt. Wiffles Hybrid, one thing done right. For more information, contact Rich Rosenmeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit wiffles.com.
What you feed your animals makes a difference. Hi, this is Philip Dietrich from the Algona Feed Store. We are driven to provide you with products and answers that will improve the health and well-being of your animals. We proudly offer products from Hubbard Feeds, so whether you produce meat, milk, and eggs, or just want to give your family pet the proper nutrition it deserves, you can count on the very best with the Algona Feed Store. Visit our location at 525 South Phillips Street and see the difference proper nutrition can make.
And we get set for high school football action here on this Friday night as Bishop Garrigan takes on Turkey Valley. And we're joined as always on the pregame show by Golden Bear head coach Marty Wadley. Coach, as always, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Coach, for those who missed last week's game, it was another very convincing win by Bishop Garrigan as you guys defeated St. Edmund 65-6 in that one. Obviously, a lot to be impressed by for the Golden Bears, including really good night by the defense. As we talked about on Saturday, St. Ed's is a team that uses a lot of motion, a lot of different looks on offense, really trying to get the ball to the boundary. So a lot of things for your defense to account for that night. Overall, how big do you feel it was for the defense to get kind of a different looking test from St. Edmund and really pass it flying colors?
That's good, I think, for us always when we can get something that maybe we're not used to seeing and something that we have to prepare for a different way. Maybe we didn't really prepare a different way, just some different things that we have to see, and then that does make a difference for us. So I thought we did a very good job. We gave up some first downs. That's going to happen. We didn't give up any real big plays. We got them in a hole a couple times where they were third and long, and I think once or twice they were able to convert on those, and that's what's a bummer. That's what you don't want to see, and those are just some of the small things we definitely need to improve on. But I thought our defense as a whole played really well. We had a defensive score. We had 3 takeaways. Anytime you do those things, it's going to be pretty good for you probably in most cases.
And, Coach, this week, of course, represents a change from the original schedule as you guys had a quality non-district game against a 3-1 Turkey Valley team. Of course, never ideal to have to deal with scheduling changes, but couldn't have worked out a whole lot better than it did for this. How big overall would you say it is to make sure the guys get a game on the schedule this week, and not just a game, but against a team that appears to be pretty solid?
Well, it's going to help us a lot, I think, in preparation as we keep going through the season. This is week 5 already, and how fast it's gone is just unbelievable. You get your 4 days of practice in, including your special teams day on Thursday, and then you play on Friday, and you come back around, and you're back at it on Monday. So it really goes fast. But I think, they do a lot of different things. They've really incorporated their quarterback in their run game. He runs pretty well and does some of those things very good. And they'll run some counters at you out of their wing and double wing look. So, a lot you have to, again, be prepared for and understand, when that flow is going away, that guys on the backside, they better step away and wait and see what's going to come back to them or happen before they start pursuing or getting out of position.
We're talking right now with Bishop Garrigan Golden Bear head coach Marty Wadley. Coach, you started wrapping up there for a point that I want to get to here. That double wing that they run on offense presents a lot for your defense to kind of keep track of in the backfield, especially those linebackers. Can you expand on that a little bit more? And what are you kind of looking for there assignment-wise from your defense and just, maybe some of the unique things for preparing for that double wing they run?
Well, it just, you have to not worry about other than what you're supposed to key. And sometimes that happens, and that happens with motion. And hopefully when we use some motion, that's what people start moving their eyes to different places and thinking they can cheat to see. But you have to really read the keys, especially when it's in a double wing look or a single wing look, because, most likely that wing back's going to dictate a lot of what they're going to do, whether it's going to be inside, outside, or they're going to use them as a blocker. So, we always tell our kids, especially on the backside, if things are flown away, and the flow goes away, you have to step away and wait and see what happens, because a lot of times something's going to come back at you. And if you flow with it, then you're completely out of position, and they've got you walled off, and you're going to have a huge gap for them to run into. So that and the trap game, which they run, we need to make sure that we're solid on preparing for that. And again, reading the right things and the right keys that we're supposed to read, because they like to get you moving a little bit, and then they like to run that pop pass off of it and send the tight end right down the seam, and they've had some success with that. So again, if you're supposed to be reading the tight end, you need to read him and not read the backfield.
And, Coach, on the other side of the football, Turkey Valley's done enough defensively to pick up 3 wins on the season, but they have given up some rushing yards as well in the past couple of games. So, with that being said, what do you kind of feel that their defense is going to throw at you, and what do the Golden Bears need to do to continue this productivity offensively?
My guess is they're going to probably try and pressure us some. In the 3 films that we've looked at, they really haven't, or 3 or 4 films, whatever it is, they really haven't varied their defense a lot. They stay pretty solid with the zero technique on the nose and 2 linebackers, and they play their ends wider and like a 9 to keep contained, and nobody gets outside of them. So, those are things that we'll have to prepare for. And then sometimes they will go to a 4 look and then roll their corners up. Most of the time, if they're in a 3, their corners and safety aren't real tight, and depending on if they're, if we're in a slot formation or something, that they're playing off, giving some cushion. So, all things that we need to make sure that we're seeing and that we're preparing for in the right way. Again, need to play well up front, and we played good at times the other night up front, but we missed a lot of things that we shouldn't have, and did some things very incorrectly that we shouldn't have done. But again, we're still able to do some very good things.
Coach, along those same lines, as we wrap up, what do you see as the biggest deciding factor in this game?
Well, we need to make sure that we don't give up anything big and quick, and make them earn everything that they try and get against our defense, and make them earn drives. And, if they can go 8, 9, 10 plays against us and put it in the end zone, more power to them. But we don't want to give up that one quick long pass or something on a counter that we're not looking the right direction and having to give up a counter play when we do something wrong. So want to do that, and then we want to play very solid up front, play very physical in our brand of football that we do, and be very physical with them on both sides of the ball.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time today on the pregame show and wish you best of luck against Turkey Valley.
Thanks a lot, Tyler. Appreciate it.
That's Bishop Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley with his pregame thoughts. When we come back, more of your Edward Jones pregame show right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Count on me for financial strategies that can help support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me at 515-295-7766 and let's find your rich. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Member SIPC.
Kasuth Regional Health Center is your home for recovery care. I'm occupational therapist Ben Krause, ready to help you with recovery care. We work with a wide range of patients, helping them get back to the tasks of daily living and doing the things they want to do. Come home to recover with Kasuth Regional Health Center. Find us online at krhc.com or call 295-2451.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Cook Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Think Cooks for all your new steel and welding supplies. Do you have any leftover material you don't need anymore? Cooks will take your scrap iron and scrap metal too. A family-owned business since 1913. Cooks Scrap Iron and Metal in Algona. Call them today at 515-295-2512 or stop in at 900 East McGregor Street, Algona.
And we're back on the Edward Jones pregame show here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. Our pregame coverage presented by your Edward Jones representatives in Algona, Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. As right now we're at the point of the night where we take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. First, when Turkey Valley has the football and Bishop Garrigan's on defense, we'll start with the Turkey Valley offense. On the line at their left guard position, we'll have the 6'3", 215-pound senior Trey Keel. At the center position, the 5'10", 217-pound senior Hunter Cruz. And at the right guard, 6-foot-tall, 190-pound junior Jordan Kreiner. Their starting quarterback, he's a third-year starter, Logan Busta, the 6-foot, 190-pound senior, who so far in the season has thrown 6 touchdown passes compared to just 2 interceptions. In his career, 28 touchdown passes for Busta compared to just 8 picks. The running backs tonight, tailback is the junior Caden Schmidt, who's just shy of 300 yards so far on the season. Schmidt, a junior, at 5'10", 165. Starting tight end tonight for Turkey Valley, J.D. Cruz, a senior, who's caught 2 touchdown passes. Last year scored 8 touchdowns and had just under 500 yards receiving. He is a senior for this Turkey Valley team. And the fullback tonight, Trenton Franzen, a junior for Turkey Valley at 6'2", 190. As Franzen's caught 5 passes, he's also carried the ball 27 times so far on the season. For the Bishop Garrigan defensive line tonight, at the end of positions, it'll be the senior Carter McGregor at 5'11", 175, and the 6'2", 245-pound senior Carter Schwab, who thus far sacked the opposing quarterback 3 times and recorded 6 tackles for losses. In the middle, the nose guard, 6'4", 260-pound sophomore Carson Kramer, who has 8.5 tackles and 2 sacks on the season. A little bit of a shake-up at the linebacker position for the Golden Bears here as Matt Miller still out this week. He's wearing street clothes for the Golden Bears after sustaining an injury last week. Saw him walking around down there earlier on the field tonight. So at the linebackers positions tonight, you'll have Ethan Marceau, the Bishop Garrigan regular, senior at 6'2", 230 pounds. And then Michael Joyce is a linebacker as well tonight. Joyce, 4.5 tackles and 3 picks on the season as the junior, 6'2", 175 on the roster. 3 players in the secondary tonight for the Golden Bears. It'll be the junior Dalton Clens. You'll see him wearing jersey number 16 out there on the field today. Tate Furch, the Bishop Garrigan senior, who recorded a pick 6 last week as part of his 2-interception game. Furch, a senior on the outside at cornerback, and C.J. McGregor, a sophomore at the safety position for Bishop Garrigan. Meanwhile, as we flip things over, the Bishop Garrigan offense and the Turkey Valley defense. Offensively for the Golden Bears, it's Carter Schwab at left guard, and Nate Lear, the 6'3", 265-pound junior at right guard. Caden Graves is the center at 6 feet tall, 215 pounds. Tate Furch, the starting quarterback for the Golden Bears, with 45 career touchdown passes compared to just 3 picks. His running backs tonight, tailback Ethan Marceau, who has scored 37 touchdowns on the ground in his career, as well as the fullback Carter McGregor. Your wide receiver tonight, Michael Joyce, the Bishop Garrigan Jr., who had 2 tremendous catches last week against St. Edmund. I would recommend you folks go back and watch those on the Algona Radio YouTube stream if you get a chance, and didn't see it last week because Joyce had a couple really athletic plays at wide receiver. And then tight end position, that gets mixed around a little bit tonight as well. With Madden Miller out, you'll see Weston Rosenmeyer as well as Hayden Miller at the tight end spot, and maybe both of them on the field at the same time for the Golden Bears when they go in that double tight formation. Meanwhile, for the Turkey Valley defense, the 3-1 Trojans will start things off with their defensive end Jordan Kreiner, a junior, and the senior J.D. Cruz. Their nose guard is Hunter Cruz, a 5'10", 217-pound senior. Linebackers tonight for Turkey Valley, Trayton Franzen, the junior wearing number 21, Parker Reichs, a senior who's made 11 tackles so far this season, and Cale Langerek, a junior at 6 foot tall, 170, with 16 tackles so far. The secondary for Turkey Valley, 3 defensive backs, Caden Schmidt, a junior, Hugo Busta, a junior, and Logan Busta, a senior for this Turkey Valley 8. So those are a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. This again, Turkey Valley takes on Bishop Garrigan, the 4-0 Golden Bears against the 3-1 Trojans. We'll step aside for another timeout. Coming up, we still have your Ken the Keys to the game and your Grassmaster Field Condition Report, all on the way on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Life changes, then it changes again. At Edward Jones, we believe that when it comes to your financial goals, you can't predict the unexpected, but you can prepare. Challenges such as job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Jorgensen, an Edward Jones financial advisor. Let's work together to help make sure you're ready for life's ups and downs. Call us at 515-395-4021 to get started. Together with Brady Ross, Jerry Sokup, and Bruce Keith, we are local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Get ready for a powerful outdoor experience with products from Tom Ison Sales. They stock and service still products and Toro mowers and snow blowers. Hitch up and go with their awesome selection of trailers. They carry a variety of trailers to fit your needs, like flatbed, enclosed, utility, gooseneck, and more. Turn pro in your own backyard with a Green Mountain pellet grill. Whatever the job, get it done like a pro with products from Tom Ison Sales. Your store in the country, Highway 18, just west of Algona.
At Wiffles Hybrids, they're completely focused on developing and producing the very best seed corn on the planet. A snack they've been polishing for more than 70 years, right here in the heart of the Corn Belt. Wiffles Hybrid, one thing done right. For more information, contact Rich Rosenmeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit wiffles.com.
At Kemna Auto Center, they understand that you have no shortage of options when it comes to purchasing or servicing your car. They're your hometown dealer for new GM, Ford, and Chrysler makes and models. Plus, they also offer an extensive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Serving you with a dedicated sales and finance team, along with world-class service technicians that are passionate about keeping your ride in top shape. Visit their showrooms today for an experience you deserve. Kemna Auto Center in Algona.
It's time for your Kemna Auto Center keys to the game. Kemna, an experience you deserve. It's 3-1 Turkey Valley taking on 4-0 Bishop Garrigan tonight, coming up at 7 o'clock, as we're about 15 minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. But right now, as I said, we're going to take a look at your Kemna keys to the game, all as part of this Edward Jones pregame show. We're going to start things off with what Turkey Valley does on offense and how Bishop Garrigan will try to counter that tonight. It's going to be a very unique offense the Golden Bears will see for the second week in a row. We talked last week about how St. Edmund, they'll spread you out, a ton of motion, some reverses, jet motion out of the slot, all kinds of different things. The wing tee concept that Coach Wadley talked about when he was recapping St. Edmund's game against Bishop Garrigan last week. So Golden Bears got a different looking opponent last week with St. Edmund, and it's a totally different look again this week. You'll see a lot of things from Turkey Valley that you haven't seen so far this season on offense. Turkey Valley's going to do a lot of single wing, a lot of double wing, things that will really require the Bishop Garrigan defense to be disciplined tonight. So my Kemna key to the game, number one, is the Bishop Garrigan linebacker play in this game, especially the experienced junior Matt Miller, a second-year starter for the Golden Bears, out tonight. He was wearing street clothes earlier, so still not feeling quite right for tonight's game. So a key to the game is going to be that linebacker play. Those guys up front on the defensive line, they're going to have to eat some blocks tonight against Turkey Valley, but hopefully for the Golden Bears, that opens up the linebackers to make some plays. A lot of things to look at with those eyes. You've got to stay disciplined. Read your keys, the coaches always like to say, but those linebackers are going to be tested tonight by that double wing offense, as there's a lot of good skill position players on this Turkey Valley team. You know, it's an experienced group. You've got a returning running back starter from last year. Their quarterback's a third-year starter. He's pretty mobile as well, like many eight-man quarterbacks are, and they've got a pretty deep running back room in Turkey Valley, so they'll rotate guys in and out, different guys getting carries, staying fresh, and then plenty of options to run that double wing that you'll see plenty here tonight for Turkey Valley. My next Kemna key to the game for the Golden Bears, obviously it's been blowouts so far this season, a dominating margin of victory on the year for the Golden Bears, who are winning by an average of over 50 points per game, but you can't take for granted that that's going to continue each and every week. It's always a cliche that coaches use, but you need the same intensity each and every week. You've got to turn the page from one Friday night to the next. So again, it's been a lot of blowouts. It's been great to see for the Golden Bears, but you've got to come into each game knowing that it's a 0-0 tie on the scoreboard until you change anything about that. So I want to see the Golden Bears start just as well as they have each game so far this season. We've seen the offense score an opening drive touchdown each week so far, so I'm looking for the same tonight for the Golden Bears. Score that touchdown on the opening drive, establish your will early on, get that ground and pound game going, and then mix in the pass of Tate Furch. So again, some good early balance on offense, but a lot of those early scores get the other team down a little bit. You've got a Turkey Valley team coming in thinking, all right, we've got the number one team on the schedule tonight. Let's upset them. Let's get this big win that'll stun the state. So you can really take the wind out of the sails early if you get those 2 or 3 touchdowns in the first quarter that the Golden Bears have been certainly producing that and more so far in the season. Meanwhile, on the Turkey Valley side of things, you heard their coach talk about it in the pregame. You've really got to limit big plays by this Bishop Garrigan offense. It's hard to beat the Golden Bears either way, whether they're getting big plays or they're having long, grinding drives, but you don't want the Golden Bears getting those big chunk 20-plus yard runs. You don't want Tate Furch hitting those huge shots down the field to Michael Joyce. Those will be big momentum-turning plays. You don't want any huge swings of momentum tonight if you're Turkey Valley, because a lot of times, big, long road trip all the way from Turkey Valley, non-district game that you added to the schedule here late against a really good team. So you're going to want to make Bishop Garrigan earn it methodically, little by little, 3 yards in a cloud of dust down the field, and just have to stay patient against this team. So again, limiting big plays, I think that's the number one key today for the Turkey Valley defense. You're going to try to muck this up a little bit, stretch out the game, kind of shorten it a little bit, long possessions on your side, long possessions on the Garrigan side. So if you limit the amount of possessions in this game, that could be very helpful if you're a Turkey Valley Trojan. Those are the keys to the game for tonight, as 3-1 Turkey Valley takes on 4-0 Bishop Garrigan coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll step aside for another timeout. More of your Edward Jones pregame show, brought to you by Representatives Bruce Keefe, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross, coming up next.
What you feed your animals makes a difference. Hi, this is Philip Dietrich from the Algona Feed Store. We are driven to provide you with products and answers that will improve the health and well-being of your animals. We proudly offer products from Hubbard Feeds, so whether you produce meat, milk, and eggs, or just want to give your family pet the proper nutrition it deserves, you can count on the very best with the Algona Feed Store. Visit our location at 525 South Phillips Street and see the difference proper nutrition can make.
Get ready for a powerful outdoor experience with products from Tom Eisen Sales. They stock and service still products and Toro mowers and snow blowers. Hitch up and go with their awesome selection of trailers. They carry a variety of trailers to fit your needs, like flatbed, enclosed, utility, gooseneck, and more. Turn pro in your own backyard with a Green Mountain pellet grill. Whatever the job, get it done like a pro with products from Tom Eisen Sales. Your store in the country, Highway 18, just west of Algona.
At Grassmasters, we believe the secret to a successful season is hard work and dedication, the same qualities that make up a winning team. Preparation, perseverance, and teamwork have enabled us to rise above the competition and bring you a championship team. So as this year kicks off, we at Grassmasters would like to wish all of the local athletes the very best and a successful season on and off the field. Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
It's now time for your field condition report, brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider, as Bishop Garrigan hosts Turkey Valley tonight at Conway Field. Well, the field's still looking good here tonight. I was talking to some people off there earlier on. We've just had such a good weather season so far. Not a lot of rain to deal with on Friday nights. Even last week, the one week where it maybe rained on Friday morning, the Golden Bears played a game on the turf. So this grass field here at Conway Field has had a pristine conditioning so far in the season. It's still looking great out there, but as I bring in my color commentator, Beanie Bodie, the one issue with the field conditions tonight, Beanie, it is a very buggy night out there. A lot of people down on the field are telling me these bugs are nasty this time of year, so those are going to be eating up the players and the officials and anyone who gets near that green grass down there on the field.
Boy, you got that right. I just rushed in from the field, and I was having dinner, and I was the dinner. Those mosquitoes and the people call them no-see-ums, but as a science person, I think I'm inclined to tell everybody those are called minute pirate bugs, or beetles if you want to call them, and they are the worst. But yeah, I see the players already lining up for the national anthem, and they're swatting that bug. So that'll be the test tonight. The field does look great. There was a JV game here last night. They chewed it up. There's some divots out there, but all is well here at Conway Field.
It certainly is, and Beanie, we're not going to let the bugs win tonight. I finally got my head together here and brought my bug spray up into the press box. We're not going to let them win. We can't give in to these mosquitoes. And what were the other bugs that were the nuisance? What were you calling those? The scientific name?
Minute pirate bugs.
We're not going to let those guys win either.
Yeah, we're not going to let those win. You wouldn't want anything to do with pirates, Pittsburgh or otherwise. But yet, Tyler, despite the bugs being crazy, you continue to wear shorts. Is that a runner's Bible, a runner's creed, must wear shorts?
It could be. It's warm, folks, and we'll talk about that in our Algona Plumbing and Heating game time temperature in just a little bit. But but I'm definitely one who I like to stay as cool as possible, especially in these warm press boxes. So that's the game plan for tonight.
Yeah, good call.
Well, Beanie, focusing on this game down on the field here, 3-1 Bishop Garrigan, or I should say 3-1 Turkey Valley against 4-0 Bishop Garrigan. This was a game that was not on either of these teams' original schedules. Unfortunately, a couple teams dropped and canceled their seasons, so it just worked out these two teams match up here today. But I think this is one Golden Bears are going to get a lot more out of this game than facing the Rockford opponent they were originally going to see. This is a Turkey Valley team. They've got some good skill position guys, a third-year starting quarterback, good 3-1 start to the season, so there's a little more to account for this week for Bishop Garrigan.
Absolutely, Tyler. I am looking at that team across the way, and I'm so thankful they're here tonight, because if they weren't, we would be not here. We would be listening to the Bulldogs on the radio, because we would have an off week. We were scheduled to play Rockford tonight. Rockford does not have a team this year, and you either find somebody or you have the night off. Thank goodness. Turkey Valley from Jackson Junction, Iowa, 110 miles away. Wow, thanks to them for making that haul over here to play this football Friday night.
It certainly is a haul, and you know, you're running into the wolf's den here, if you will, or the bear's den, I guess, more appropriately. But
yes.
I was talking, Beanie, a little while ago. Turkey Valley, they've got an incredible 3-week stretch here. Last week they played Edgewood Colesburg, who, if you remember, that's who Bishop Garrigan played in the quarterfinals last year. This week, of course, they play the Golden Bears, and then next week they play Don Bosco, a perennial 8-man power.
Wow.
So
Holy
this is
moly.
a 3-week stretch that is really going to test Turkey Valley out.
Before it was the Catholic school up here in north central Iowa of Bishop Garrigan taking the leading spot in 8-man football. It was Don Bosco year after year after year. The fact that Turkey Valley wants to play 3 weeks in a row of the top-ranked teams of all time in 8-man football. Boy, do they have some guts. Hats off to those coach over there. They know that they want to sharpen their team up, and that is an impressive schedule.
Well, Beanie, on the Golden Bears side, I'll ask you this. What's the biggest thing you're looking for here tonight? You've seen 4 blowouts so far by Bishop Garrigan. What can they do tonight to get number 5?
Wow, I want to see them. Let's look at what we know they can do. We know their offensive line can steamroll people. We know they have some skills at the specialty positions. I want to see them put together the complete game plan as if this was a playoff game. This could very well be likely a possible playoff matchup. I want them to put together a playoff game type game plan, not just do what they know they can do, but try to go out and execute some things that really push their limits a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the great thing for Bishop Garrigan. You get a chance to test things out as the season goes on, and especially non-district game too. So yeah, try a few new things. I like that. Bring out some deep things from the playbook.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea for tonight's game.
You know they got in their playbook something like a screen pass. We haven't seen that this year. We know they have a pitch pass. We haven't seen that this year. Like, there's a lot of things we haven't seen yet. And what are we, halfway through the season?
Exactly halfway through
It's time to bring that stuff out, right?
It certainly is. Well, we'll see what the Golden Bears have in the playbook for tonight as 4-0 Bishop Garrigan tries to stay undefeated tonight, taking on Turkey Valley. We'll break for one final timeout. Kickoff of the game is coming up next on KLGZ, Home Country Radio, and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
With fall starting, so is seasonal allergies. This is Dr. John C. Quartenberg at Eyes on Thorrington. Do your eyes itch? Are they irritated or watering? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may benefit from a prescription for your ocular allergies. Why not feel better today? Call to schedule an appointment at Eyes on Thorrington at 395-EYES. That's 395-3937.
Living in Iowa sure means we rely on our furnaces and air conditioners to keep us comfortable all year round. That's why Algona Plumbing and Heating is proud to be your local trusted Armstrong dealer. They're committed to bringing you the highest quality products in heating and cooling, and it doesn't get any better than Armstrong furnaces and air conditioners. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, give them a call at 295-5240 or stop by their Dodge Street location. Live comfortably with Algona Plumbing and Heating.
Home Country Radio presents Golden Bear Football. Brought to you by Iowa State Bank, Northwest Iowa Phone, Joint and Sports Surgeons, Security State Bank, Murphy Farm Services, and the many hometown and home country sports club members you'll hear throughout the game. Now we go live to Home Country Radio Sports Director Tyler Lance with the call.
And we come to you live from Conway Field tonight as the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears take on the Turkey Valley Trojans, the final non-district game of the regular season for the Golden Bears, who have this extra non-district game after one of those slots opened up. Golden Bears look to keep that #1 ranking in the Radio Iowa poll for a win here tonight, as they'll be wearing their all-black uniforms, the black uniform pants, the black jersey tops, the gold numerals on the front and back, and of course the black helmet with the BG and cross intertwined on the sides. Turkey Valley has the white uniforms. They have the black numerals on the front and back, Trojans written on the front of uniforms, and the red uniform pants. They have a red helmet as well to go with those uniforms. Beanie, another beautiful night for high school football. Final thoughts here before tonight's game kicks off.
Well, you've got two longtime coaches. Coach Marty Wadley for the Bears, Coach who for Turkey Valley. Well, I was able to catch them on the phone the other day. I happened to be in the room when the Turkey Valley coach called Marty Wadley, and they had a great conversation. They played each other back when both schools were 11-man in 2004 in the playoffs. You got two longtime coaches going head-to-head. This is a real fun matchup for these schools. Unique thing here midseason, not even on the schedule originally. I just want to see a lot of guys going out and playing hard, having some fun, getting out here, and both teams getting better.
Yeah, Coach Mark Scott for Turkey Valley, who we heard from in the pregame show, a longtime coach. And yeah, some old 11-man matchups for these two teams back in the day, now meeting on the 8-man gridiron for the first time. Here's your Eyes on Thornton coin toss tonight, as Bishop Garrigan has won the opening coin toss, Beanie. They're back on the winning track, and they have deferred their choice to the second half.
Yeah, I know the defer call is popular. It's always so anticlimactic. You win the toss, what are you going to do? Let them choose. But hey, very important to get that ball in the second half if it's a close game.
Yeah, put that sledgehammer defense on the field first. The #2 defense in the 8-player class as far as points per game allowed. Only 8 points per game allowed by the Golden Bears. Only Gladbrook-Rhinebeck's better, as Gladbrook-Rhinebeck has pitched a shutout in 3 of their 4 games and only allowed 6 total points in the season. Well, your game time temperature tonight, folks, it's another warm one, 75 degrees, as our temperature is brought to you by Algona Plumbing and Heating. And we're now ready to go between Bishop Garrigan and Turkey Valley. We'll see that Golden Bear defense out there first, and the Golden Bears are sending C.J. McGregor out there as well to kick away, right to left on the radio dial. We heard from Coach Wadley. Actually, no, McGregor will be on the coverage team, but it'll be Marceau kicking it away. Last week, the Golden Bears started off with an accidental onside kick, as we heard from Coach Wadley on the Coaches Show Saturday morning. C.J. McGregor maybe misfired on that kick, but the Golden Bears recovered that short kickoff against St. Edmund, and they were rolling after that. So here's the big right leg of Ethan Marceau. As the Bishop Garrigan senior approaches the football, he'll kick a line drive to the near side of the field that is caught on the fly and returned by Trenton Franzen. Franzen across the 30-yard line out to the 33, and Turkey Valley will have solid starting field position.
Well, I've got some background information from the kids that are willing to talk to me about it, about the kickoff situation. We've talked a lot about it, how people don't necessarily want to be the kicker. Well, Ethan Marceau does like to kick, and he would have beginning of the year, but it makes his hamstring a little sore. And so I can't blame the guy that's going to be running the ball to try to preserve that hammy.
Not to mention flying around on defense. Well, folks, get ready for a unique offense. We'll see a little single wing and double wing tonight from Turkey Valley as Logan Buster gives out to Franzen. Franzen runs into a thicket of defenders on the left side of the line. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage as players go flying down late. But the Golden Bears will build a brick wall on the left side and set up a second down and about 9.5.
That first play of the game is always kind of procedural, kind of like a high school dance. These boys have all seen each other on film a million times. The Bear defense knew exactly what was going to happen that first play of the game, and they got there, led by that impressive defensive line. Moose Kramer there in the middle. Schwab over at the right tackle, plugging that hole up immediately.
Schwab remains the leading tackler so far this season for Bishop Garrigan. McGregor joins that trio on the defensive line. They'll spread out a little wider here with the Bishop Garrigan defensive line. Tripped to the right for Turkey Valley. It's a run by Busta. Busta past the line of scrimmage. He spins forward, and he's taken down by Carson Kramer. It'll be a pick of about 2 or 3, and we'll call it third and about 6-7 yards to go.
Well, Carson Kramer off to a good start. He's dominating the center and 2 guards. They're going to have to block him with 3 guys. He's on fire tonight. You know, I was driving a tractor earlier, and I saw Carson Kramer going the other direction on a motorcycle. Just taking a little cool-off motorcycle ride, I guess, before the big game. That's why people love Moose. He's a character.
This offensive line for Turkey Valley, Hunter Cruz, the center, loaded the ground, the 5'10", 217-pound senior. He'll have his hands full tonight with Kramer as Cruz is over the football. Busta comes out underneath center. He's got the 2 backs behind him in the backfield. Back to throws Busta. Busta is going the wrong way. Now he's running left. He pumps, he pulls the ball down. He tries to escape, and Schwab trips him up by the ankles. It's a big loss for Busta, and it's our first high-V sack of the night as Schwab has sack number 4 of the season.
Oh, and he earned that sack. Both Schwab and Kramer were running all over the place trying to get the QB. Schwab just showed you that speed there. The quarterback thought he was clear of a lineman. He thought, I can outrun this guy. Schwab gets him from behind by diving at his ankles. there's Carter Schwab showing that speed that has gotten him some attention. And as we say every week, he's the point guard on the basketball team, so he's got to have some speed there.
Ball's on the left side hash for the punt. It'll be J.D. Cruz, the senior, to punt it away. 4th and 11 for Turkey Valley as Cruz booms this one down the field. Joyce back, letting it bounce at the 15-yard line. It deflects sideways, and it rolls into the boundary at the 10-yard line. Solid punt there by Cruz, and for one of the rare times, Beanie, we'll see Bishop Garrigan's offense have to work from a long field.
Yeah, put together a drive. This is something that I want to see. I want to see them put together a drive like this. But, Tyler, in that punt, you saw a great punt by the kicker. But you also saw great speed of those downfield guys. They got down there and in front of Michael Joyce, so there's no return. That shows you this team's got some wheels as well.
So here comes the Bishop Garrigan offense. Golden Bears outscoring their opponents 247-32 so far in the season as Tate Furch comes out underneath center. Marceau and McGregor behind him. It'll be Marceau taking the hand up. He started left. He dips towards the right. He's through the middle. Marceau plugging and chugging, and he'll get a solid pickup on first down. Give him 8 yards out to the 28-yard line. Or out to the 18, yard line.
And credit Ethan Marceau for developing as a running back. Sophomore, maybe even junior Ethan Marceau would have run right into that pile and gained 3. But he had great vision. He saw an opening to his left, made a little bit of a jump cut, and then kept going forward and picked up another 4. Great run by Ethan.
Golden Bear offense moves right to left on the radio dial as Joyce motions across the formation. Furch rolling out to the right, flings downfield, has Hayden Miller wide open. He's to the 35-40. Miller down the sideline, rumbling to the 30, picking up his feet and driving down the field. He's the 10-5, touchdown Bishop Garrigan. 62 yards, Tate Furch to Hayden Miller on the second play from scrimmage.
Wow, it would have been Madden Miller, but Madden Miller's hurt. Who steps up and takes his place? His little bro. Little brother Hayden Miller comes in, catches that tight end route. Nice job by the sophomore there. Boy, he is athletic and he's big. And that's why he's in there at tight end, subbing. But he would have never scored if it wasn't for an incredible block by Rosemeyer there. He was going to get tackled at about the 20. But Rosemeyer comes in, puts a block on the tackler, and frees him for the end zone. Great team football. Nice job. Congrats to Miller there for, I assume, his first varsity touchdown.
Well, after that touchdown, it'll be C.J. McGregor, who has 9 two-point conversions this year, which is 5th in the state. McGregor weaving, he's dipping, and he's into the end zone for the 2-point try. 8-0 Bishop Garrigan as they strike on the second play from scrimmage. Turkey Valley's ball next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
More Sports Club members.
Kimco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Soy City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy service.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill for wicked good food, drinks, and service. You gotta go to Reeves.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Ethan Marceau kicks it near side of the field. Cruz returns it, and it's a collision of number 2s as Borman brick walls Cruz to the 20-yard line. Turkey Valley has the ball trailing 8-0 as it was a 62-yard touchdown pass. Tate Furch to Hayden Miller. Miller ran up the sideline. It looked the whole time like he was expecting a hit, but he outran the defense and scored that first touchdown of the game.
Wow, on that kickoff that we just saw, the Deuces were meeting on the sideline. Kyle Borman just hits him and bear hugs him around the shoulders, picks him up, and throws him out of bounds like a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Here's the double wing formation for Turkey Valley. Busta sends a man in motion behind him. He'll give it to Schmidt. Schmidt has a hole right side. He'll run into C.J. McGregor quickly, though, who came up to fill that hole. He's just shy of the 24-yard line. Now we'll get to the 25 on the spot. So it's a 4-yard pickup on the 1st and 10 carry.
Yeah, you called it, Tyler. C.J. went over and filled that hole, but that hole was 10 yards outside the hash mark, and he came a long ways. He just read that play. You read the blockers, you know where the ball is going, and CJ did a great job there of just getting out there, knowing where the ball was, and he's very quick to that spot.
Ball's on the right side hash for Turkey Valley. 2nd down and 6 from the 25 as the Trojans try to stay ahead of schedule against this Golden Bear team that has forced a lot of negative plays. This time Buster alone in the shotgun, 4-man block. He'll zip a slant pass over the middle, and it's caught. That is going to be close to a first down for Mitchell Kreiner, and he has enough to get the conversion out to the 31-yard line.
That's a beautiful pass, beautiful slant pattern. Great play by that team. Dalton Clems was over there on coverage. I like the way Dalton played it. You're going to have to give that guy a cushion. You're going to have to kind of give up that play. Good offense there because you don't want to get beat deep there. And I see Joyce talking to Dalton right now.
Yeah, Clens getting into that starting lineup as the Golden Bears have shifted Joyce down to more of a linebacker role. Clens filling in the secondary. Logan Buster, the quarterback who just completed that pass, 29 of 56 through the air on the season. Also has 61 carries for 375 yards and 6 scores on the ground. As Buster will give it off, there's contact in the backfield. Franzen trying to escape. He's pinballing off the tackles. He lunges forward. That's a strong 1.5-yard pickup by Franzen, who was hit about a yard behind the line of scrimmage and somehow surged through a few black jerseys to get positive yardage.
I don't know how Franzen did that. Schwab had him. Carter McGregor had him. I think Kramer was in there. Marceau was definitely in there. But, yeah, that's something to notice, too. That guy is going to keep those legs churning. Have to be sure tacklers tonight. They're not just going to pop and fall down.
Yeah, it's a little thunder and lightning. Franzen's a little bit of a bigger back. You have Schmidt, who's a little bit more of a speed back for Turkey Valley, so it's a good combination. And then Hugo Busto will get on the wing action here as Hugo Busto, number 3, is on the left side. Logan Busto, the quarterback, under center. It's Hugo in motion. He'll take the handoff coming right side. And McGregor steals the edge, and he jams him down in the backfield. Carter McGregor ripped off the block that time and stuffed that play.
Wow, we're going to have to see that on replay. I don't know how Carter did it, but you're exactly right. He must have thrown his blocker right off, but he read that play beautifully. Another one I think they probably saw on film. They knew right where it was going. Schwab got through the line and got him from behind. He is pumped up tonight, or at least he's telling the crowd he's pumped up. Schwab's always good for flexing after the play.
It's 3rd down and 9 from the 32-yard line for Turkey Valley. They have to get the ball across midfield in order to pick up a first down. 1 first down so far in this drive for the Trojans, trailing 8-0 with 6:20 on the clock in quarter number 1. Busta comes out underneath center, Cruz to snap it. Busta fakes the handoff. He has some pressure. He throws back to the left, and it's incomplete. He had Marceau bearing down on him in the backfield as the pass intended for Franzen falls incomplete in the backfield.
Good blitz there. Good call by Coach Patterson. Marceau did come right up through the middle, and he did send the quarterback flying in a friendly manner, not a huge destructive Marceau hit like we know he's for, but let the quarterback know he's going to eat some turf. And now they gave up 1 first down. This will be something interesting to keep track of tonight. How many first downs can this Turkey Valley team get on the Bears defense?
Something to watch as well. We've seen some longer developing plays called by Turkey Valley, and against some teams that can work, but this Bishop Garrigan team gets so much penetration up front. Those long developing plays may be tough to block up tonight as Cruz wants to punt it away. Had a good, we'll call it pocket to punt it away, as we'll send it to the far side of the field. It skips out of bounds, this one not as far, as the punt will stop at the 30-yard line.
You know, it is fun to keep track of the success of the Bear defense. Those starters are in there. They're coached by Brian Patterson, son of Ron Patterson, a long time defensive coordinator for the Bears. They're both shorts guys like you, Tyler. They're always wearing the shorts. And tonight, you should. It's hot.
The difference between them and me, they'll do it when it's a 30-degree game in the quarterfinals.
Yes,
I'll be bundled up for that, folks. I won't be wearing shorts that night if Bishop Garrigan gets that far. Tate Furch is in the shotgun. He reads and he keeps it to the outside. Furch across the 35. He's near the 40. Dragged down by the back of his jersey along the sidelines. It's an 8-yard pickup on that read play by Tate Furch.
Yeah, a little run-pass option there. I don't think it was pass option. That was just a run all the way, sorry. But Furch had an outstanding game last week, and he put together 2 fantastic games in a row. You see he's getting a little break defensively tonight.
Yeah, less snaps for Tate Furch tonight on defense. Had a big week last week. 2 picks defensively. Bishop Garrigan's leading tackler, and then around the 150-yard rushing mark as well for the Bishop Garrigan quarterback. As the ball's on the right side hash, Furch is in the shotgun. Has 2 receivers split to the left. Marceau joining him in the backfield on a 2nd down and 1. Furch is back to throw. It's a 3-man rush. He's looking down the field. Joyce escapes from the defense. Furch looking for Joyce. He leaps up. He made the catch again. Joyce inside the 15. He's down to the 12-yard line. Another athletic grab by Michael Joyce, who opened up about midway through that route, and Tate Furch hits another big pass.
And it's a hurry-up offense. I like this. See, they're making it a playoff game. Boy, Joyce just does that thing that he doesn't just catch the ball. He high points the ball. He's got such good footwork. He makes it look easy, but it is not.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line as Bishop Garrigan's inside the red power red zone. Quick pass outside to the right to Borman. Has 1 man to beat. Borman lunges forward, and what a great ankle tackle that time. Schmidt saved a touchdown right there for Turkey Valley, and it'll be 2nd down and about 3.
Good reception by Borman. He watched it all the way in. Sure hands, cuts to the outside. He's got a lot of experience at running back. You know, we talk about Joyce. He's a primary target, but Garrigan's got another one. Kyle Borman out there on the other end. How about an 8-man team with 2 deadly receivers? That's not very common.
Yeah, Borman's 5th catch of the season, averaging around 10 yards per catch for the Golden Bears. Ball's on the right side hash. Golden Bears are going bigger here as Furch lines up underneath center. Graves to snap the football. Furch turns and gives to Marceau. Marceau chugging for the middle, walking into the end zone for another score. Physical play by the Bishop Garrigan offensive line, and the Golden Bears muscle their way into the end zone for a 14-0 lead.
And Marceau just plows in and gentleman-like gives the ball to the official. No big celebration there. He's just going to work like Marceaus do. Boy, impressive drive there by the Bears. Every play executed perfectly.
It's almost like Marceau was disappointed there wasn't more contact there. The offensive line did too good of a job.
That's right. He wants to hit some people to earn that touchdown, but credit the offensive line for making that happen. So we talked about Patterson, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator this year. Coach Kesselring, boy, he's really mapping out some nice drives.
Dialing up a 2-point conversion right now, so it'll be McGregor to take the direct snap. C.J. McGregor running right. He's looking to throw back to his left. He pulls it down. He shimmies. He's looking for the end zone. He reaches, and he's not quite there.
Oh.
He'll come up short after running laterally every which way, and the score will stay 14-0 Bishop Garrigan. We'll take a quick timeout. Back after this with 4:26 on the clock in quarter number 1 on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Some of the most significant power outages in recent years have been caused by extreme cold weather and severe storms. Whether it's snow, ice, or extreme wind, don't be caught in the dark. At Murphy Farm Services, our top-of-the-line Generac or Cummins generators will automatically power your home in the event of a power loss. Already have a standby generator? Call us today to get on our preventative maintenance list to ensure your machine is running at its maximum efficiency. Contact your local certified ag, electrical, and generator sales and service dealer. Murphy Farm Services, delivering the power you need when you need it.
Thank you to those sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen, when you come in, your family.
Algona Freeman Auto.
It's Ethan Marshall to kick things away. Right to left on the radio dials. We're back here on Home Country KLGZ. Quick timeouts here tonight. The officials keeping it moving. Marceau lines it down towards the goal line as Cruz returns it to the middle. He's to the 15. He's to the near side 16, 17. Dragging defenders forward across the 21-yard line. Cruz got backpedaling there, and he took 4 Golden Bears. Carter Sink, Kyle Borman amongst them, and he got a good return out of that to the 21. Carson Seidel's also helping out on that tackle for Bishop Garrigan alongside Sean Tilgis.
Yeah, good return there. This is a solid team. You look at these guys, they've got some athleticism on their line. They've got it at the running back, quarterback position. This is no slouch of a team. They came all the way over here, and they're finding out why Bishop Garrigan's got the #1 ranking here, up 14-0 already in the first quarter.
Here's the double wing formation of Busta underneath center. He'll send Franzen in motion behind him. Franzen takes it left side. Franzen trying to plow his way forward, but once again he runs into some big-time resistance from the Golden Bear line. Maybe half a yard there for Franzen.
Yeah, Franzen doing everything he can, but the Bears are really swarming on the tackling here. Better than what we've seen so far this season even. Boy, all helmets going to that point of attack. Just a mob of Golden Bears there.
Yeah, Beanie, I know they give out half a tackle, but do they give out quarter of a tackle? Because there's so many guys getting to the ball, you could almost split it up 3 or 4 ways.
Yeah, the statisticians there. Garrigan's got some longtime volunteers doing the stats down there. Birdies and Hamilton. And, boy, I don't know how they figure that out there. They got to give it to somebody, but everybody's there.
2nd and 9 as Franzen motions again. They'll fake to it and give it the inside handoff to Busta. And Hugo Busta's blown up. He's pushed back as Kramer and Schwab stuff him at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 9 to go from the 23 for Turkey Valley.
Once again, that Schwab flexing after the play because he knows he did something impressive. He was able to catch the running back from behind, grabbed him around the waist, so he threw his blocker off, grabbed the ball carrier from behind, and held on to him. But, yeah, I learned a lot about spotting the football yesterday during the JV game, working on the chain gang. And so that ball, even though it looked like a huge loss, still goes back because of forward progress.
Oh, I'm sure you had some parents fired up with your spotting job, Beanie. They were telling you exactly where the ball should be going.
That's right.
It's a snap over the head of Busta. Logan will chase it down. He'll run to his left, and he'll dirt this ball at the 25-yard line. Pass was intended for Tucker Reichs, but that play was blown up from the start as the snap went over the head of the quarterback.
Well, an unnoticed thing that the Bears did really well in that broken play is sometimes you get a broken play like in the JV game, and everyone sees the bad snap, and like a moth to the flame, everybody gets big eyes, and they all start running towards the football. But that time the Bears, they didn't. They all keep their coverage because the quarterback still picked it up and made the pass. Dalton Clenn's still there in coverage like he should be.
Here's another punt, the 3rd of the night by Cruz. Good snap, good blocking once again on the punt, but it's a knuckleball off to the left side. This one is sailing out of bounds. Last 2 punts have not been quite as good for Cruz, and this one's going to be close to midfield depending on the spot.
And I'd say that's a favorable spot there because those are hard when the ball flies out of bounds while it's in the air. It's supposed to be the spot where it leaves the field. Now they're discussing. Oh, yeah, now they're changing it. That's right.
Yeah, they started at about the 30-yard line, then walked forward to the 35. Now they'll say 39-yard line as Bishop Garrigan starts on their own side of the field. Michael Joyce to the wide side of the field. He is covered by Hugo Busta over there. Ball's on the right side hash as Furch will start off in the shotgun. 2:42 left in the first quarter. 14-0 Bishop Garrigan as Graves is over the football. Snap to Furch, give to Marceau. Marceau trying the right side. No, it's a keeper by Furch. Furch to the 35. He's to the 30, 25, 20. Furch breaks a tackle. 15. He's down to the 11-yard line. He is finally tracked down by J.D. Cruz, but he fooled everybody, including me, on that quarterback read.
Well, why wouldn't you think Marceau would get the ball? And a great fake by Furch. Beautiful magic back there. Joyce, great block downfield, gets him another 15. Furch read the block well. He couldn't tell which way Joyce was going to block him at first, so he kind of hesitated and made sure he used that blocker. Great coaching down there, running backs coaches.
Trips to the right for Bishop Garrigan. Furch alone in the backfield. Tight end Rosenmeyer on the left side. It's a four-man pattern. Furch back to throw. Zips it into the end zone for Borman. He slides. He makes the grab. It's an 11-yard touchdown by Kyle Borman. And Tate Furch continues to deliver. 20-0 Bishop Garrigan.
Wow, Kyle Borman. He actually slid, and as he slid, was able to box out the defender because I thought the defender was going to break on that ball and intercept it. But Kyle was able to shield him from the ball by boxing him out with his left shoulder when he dove. Nice play by Borman. He's having a game.
Yeah, and that's a play where a lowly placed ball was perfect for that situation. McGregor takes the direct snap. He runs left side. He's hitting the backfield. He lunges forward, and he got to the end zone. That ball broke the plane somehow. Not by much, but his forward fall before the knees went down got him in.
Well, he broke the plane on the last one, I thought, and it was a missed call. But this time they gave it back to him and give the kid 2 points as C.J. McGregor continues to run that Wildcat formation for the two-point conversions to great success.
Well, Turkey Valley, they've obviously seen a lot of McGregor two-point conversion attempts on the film that they had coming into this game, and they've defended it a lot better than some teams have. Usually McGregor's just walking right in, almost untouched. They've been contacting him, and he's had to fight for those two-point conversions that he's gotten so far tonight.
Yeah, boy, and what a testament to the offensive line blocking, and that's not even the starting offensive line always. I see Besh comes in there and plays on those, but a confidence in your line to just say, block your guy one way or the other, let CJ figure it out. That's a tough task for a lineman. Bears doing very well at the line of scrimmage tonight.
Cruz and Schmidt are back deep to receive as Marceau will boot the ball away again. End over end down the field. It's taken by Cruz at the 5-yard line. Returns middle. He's to the 15. He steps sideways. He bounces off his own man. He's at the 20, and he is snowed under at the 19-yard line. Forward progress was stopped there, running to the back of one of his blockers, and then once he got going left and right, the Bishop Garrigan defense swarmed in and will stop him there with 2:02 on the clock.
People getting good corralling coverage again. Borman's in there. I saw Carter Sink in there at the end of that tackle, getting on that action, sophomore into that special teams as they start to work some guys in. Now 22-0 already. Special teams is those positions that you got a shot at if you're one of those young guys.
Franzen out to the right, Schmidt to the left. It's jet motion for Schmidt. Busta keeps it up the middle. Busta driving his legs forward. He's spinning. Golden Bears are ripping at the ball, and Busta does a great job to hang on. Solid pickup of 5 yards on first down as he'll get to the 24-yard line.
Well, that's a good name to say, isn't it, Tyler? Busta is a great sports name to call on the call. Hugo Busta. Is that it?
So Hugo Busta is one of the wingbacks. Logan Busta, the starting quarterback.
Oh, yeah, good. The Busta boys. These guys got great sports names.
Yeah, and they've made a huge impact so far for Turkey Valley. Logan Busta in his third year as a starting quarterback. He's thrown 28 touchdown passes in his career. He's run for 17. And he has Turkey Valley at their own 24 right now, a 2nd and 5. Play clock's at 9 seconds as the Trojans meander up to the line of scrimmage. Ball's in the center of the field. Busta will give to the wingback on the inside handoff, and buried is Franzen. They've tried the outside and the inside on the run game, but Franzen has nowhere to go.
Carter McGregor is just owning this defensive line. He's playing that left defensive end. You know, Carter McGregor, he is so sneaky good at that defensive end position. I'm sure a lot of guys thought, hey, I got a chance to beat out Carter McGregor at that defensive end spot. He's not that big. But, boy, he can play football. He's just got a nose for it, just knows where the ball is, and man, he is tough.
Yeah, I'd say shifty defensive lineman. That's a pretty important quality to have, especially in the 8-player game. It's hard to just cleanly block him. Back to throws Busta. He fires left side and incomplete. The ball went right through the hands of his receiver, Reichs. It was a good throw, but it falls incomplete, and it's 4th down and 5 with 37 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, Reichs puts his head down, knows he let his team down. That would have been the second first down for this team, I believe. But nope, went right through his hands. Boy, you start to see they make the whole long 100-mile-plus drive over here. And you got to feel for this team getting it handed to him in the first quarter here, 22-0 with 30 seconds left.
It'll be Cruz to punt it away. They block it up well again as Cruz sends a knuckleball towards Joyce. He says stay away as the ball skips to the 30-yard line. Joyce thought about running up and taking it, but Schmidt, who was close by, will down the ball instead at the 28 as Bishop Garrigan has 29 seconds left in quarter number 1.
Well, let's see if they can. That'd be a challenge for the team. They have 29 seconds till the quarter, and even though it's inconsequential, maybe give themselves a challenge. Can they score again before the quarter's up? Get a little 2-minute offense going as Furch comes out.
So Bishop Garrigan offensively has not been stopped so far tonight. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. It's a pair of touchdown passes by Tate Furch and a touchdown rush by Ethan Marceau, who already has 11 rushing touchdowns on the season. Furch comes out in the shotgun. Jet motion by Michael Joyce as Furch is back to throw, standing tall in the pocket. Flings it left side to Joyce, and that pass is incomplete. That ball was behind Joyce, and he could not make the grab as it's 2nd down and 10 from the 28.
A very rare miss by Furch. We've seen him spot on, but Joyce's speed got a little ahead of that pass. But they went with a straight pass there. Yeah, they are trying that 2-minute offense, challenge themselves a little bit. They went with 2 receivers there. Haven't seen them do the I formation much yet because they are really spreading that offense out.
So 1st and 10, or make it 2nd and 10 with 26 seconds left in the quarter. The marker on the far side still says first down, but that was an incomplete pass, folks. This time the Golden Bears go for the power run game as Marceau plugs his way at the middle, drives the legs forward. He's across the 35, and he is just shy of the 40. He has enough for the first down on the 11-yard pickup with 20 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Well, that wasn't my favorite I formation, but Carter McGregor lined off just behind the right tackle guard, and boy, then he came and blocked that hole. Marceau once again did a great job of letting Carter McGregor seal that block and following through. Nice pickup.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Golden Bears don't have to snap it. Extra offensive lineman is Kramer as they drew Turkey Valley offside at the hard count. Hunter Cruz, or check that, I believe that's Eli Holthouse, who looked like he came across the line of scrimmage as the flag.
Well, the quarter's over, so the official's walking the wrong way. He's just going to have to flip the field anyway as we're going to change directions. That's the end of the first quarter, Tyler.
So quarter 1 comes to an end. We'll talk about the penalty after the quarter. Second quarter starts, but right now it's a 22-0 Bishop Garrigan lead on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Thank you to those sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen, when you come in, your family.
Algona Freeman Auto Body, we meet by accident.
Algona Livestock Sales every Monday.
Weichert Realty, the 515 agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty, trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
All sponsors of this game's broadcast.
The penalty will move Bishop Garrigan to the 35-yard line. It's 1st and 5 as we begin the second quarter on Home Country Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube stream. Tate Furch is in the shotgun. Offensive line surges forward. Marceau bounces to the outside. He drives his way past the first down 6. He's across the 30. He's to the 27. Another physical run by Ethan Marceau, hitting the hole and then getting downhill.
Yeah, looking for that outside edge. I'd love to see Ethan Marceau get the outside edge. He does so much of his work in between the hashes, running over people. But I'd like to see him turn that corner and get to the outside because he does have speed. We talk about so much people taking the brunt of his hits. But once he gets away from him, he can pull away from a few guys.
So that was actually the end of the quarter. They ran the untimed play at the end of the quarter due to the offside penalty by Turkey Valley. But since we just took our commercial break, we'll keep it right here after that physical run by Ethan Marceau.
Well, I like that untimed play. That's pretty interesting. No time on the clock. See what happens. It's almost like a free yards for Marceau there. You know he's going to pick up something there. They can just get that field position ready going into the first. All right, Tyler, so what do you think so far? Is this what you expected, 22-0?
I mean, honestly, at this point, Bishop Garrigan has earned all benefit of the doubt. I think fast starts are just something that this team gets off to. It's been 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and I'll have to go back and look through the film, but I don't believe this Bishop Garrigan offense has been stopped in a first quarter yet.
Yeah,
the starting lineup has only punted once on the season, so this is really an offense that deserves all benefit of the doubt in getting out to a start like this.
Yeah, this coaching staff is really good at preparing these guys during the week. Coach Wadley is no stranger to game preparation, and they come into Friday night calm and casual, and with this map that they follow in the first quarters, they always seem to be able to get a couple scores on the board right away. So good job, coaching staff.
This is a Golden Bear team that has won 17 straight games at home, dating back to the 2022 season. As Furch lines up underneath center, Marshall's behind him. They've got McGregor lined up behind the right guard as it's a play fake. Furch, clean pocket, back to throw. Two-man Rowdy flips it out into the flat. Hayden Miller catches it again. Miller shakes a man off him. He gets past the first down sticks, and he's forced out of bounds by Franzen, but he threw Schmidt off him and picked up the first down.
Offensive line doing great, giving Furch plenty of time. Furch was looking for Rosemeyer deep. Probably could have went there, but Rosemeyer was pretty well covered, so good decision by Furch. Had plenty of time to check down to the other tight end, as the Bears have both Rosemeyer and Miller in often. Both those boys can block as well as run routes.
Rosenmeyer, the tight ends on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Ball's on the left hash. Furch is in the shotgun. Has Marshall on his left side of two receivers to the right. Joyce is in the slot. It'll be given to Marshall. Marshall, full head of steam. Marshall through the middle. He is hit, but he lunges into the end zone for a touchdown. Even Marshall got hit right around the ankles at about the 5-yard line, and he was able to just force his way into the end zone there after shaking that off.
Oh, man, I didn't even watch Marshall at all. As I watched Schwab, the pulling guard. That's a trap play. Number 84, the left tackle for Turkey Valley. Poor kid. He came through. He thought, hey, they didn't block me, but there's a reason they didn't block him. Schwab, he's the trap guy. Schwab is pulling down the line. Didn't see Schwab coming, and Schwab absolutely put him on his back. So rewind your video on that one, folks, if you want to watch Schwab pancake somebody. And I feel bad for that left tackle for Turkey Valley. He's having a rough one of it. A little dinged up. His right leg is hurting him a little bit.
Bishop Garrigan will go empty formation here for Tate Furch. Has one tight end and 3 wide receivers all to the right side of the field as far as the receivers go. Furch is back to throw, flips it into the end zone. Caught by Michael Joyce. That ball was just outside the outstretched palms of Trenton Franzen in coverage. And this telepathic connection between Furch and Joyce continues as Bishop Garrigan leads it 30-0. Beanie, you brought up something that I want to tell our listeners all the time, though. I know when you're watching football, it's a quarterback-centric game, and you're watching where the ball is going, but I really tell people each week, take at least a few plays we're watching on the video stream just to only focus on the Garrigan offensive line and see what they do, because you're seeing guys that have been just totally dominant throughout the season.
Absolutely. You watch those guys and you know why the running backs look so awesome. I mean, Marcel's fantastic at running people over, but so is his offensive line. They run over 7 guys. That means Marshall only has to run over 1. They're real impressive this year, and they're deep. They can rotate guys through, but Schwab has really developed as an impressive lineman. He's been fun to watch all year. As now the kick cover team, they've been steadily improving every week as well.
Marceau has been busy with that right leg so far, kicks down the field. It's returned up the far side by Cruz. He's to the 15-20, gets to the outside to the 25, and he's running to the sideline of Borman in pursuit. As Turkey Valley, just 1 first down so far. They'll try to get across midfield for the first time tonight as Busto leads the offense back onto the field.
Well, Tyler, not to get off track, but besides your wise words there about watching the offensive line, just look at like NFL football where these guys play year after year after year. Someone like Saquon Barkley is okay, but then he gets to get with an offensive line, and suddenly he's the best running back in the world. Like, it's not just because he's good. Everybody's good. But if you have a line and a team that can block for you, suddenly you're a superstar.
100%. Bishop Garrigan comes out on defense with a 4-man front this time with Busta underneath center. Almost jumping offside with the Golden Bears. The handoff goes to Schmidt. Schmidt quickly through the right side, gets forward for 2 yards, and he is tripped up on the play by Carter Schwab, setting up 2nd down and 8.
Wow, 30-0 here. 11:30 left to go until halftime. I'm a little surprised, but I guess not too much because I have my own gauge of whether it's going to be a tough game or not, and that's the Marty Wadley panic meter. If I talk to him during the week and he sounds a little anxious, got a little anxiety going, I think, oh, this might be a good game Friday. But I talked to him on Wednesday. I went on a bike trip with him on Tuesday with the PE students. He just was calm and casual, and I thought, he must be pretty confident about Friday night's game.
Yeah, Coach Wadley has reasons to be confident this season of the production the Golden Bears have put out so far. Double wing formation. Franzen goes in motion. Franzen looking for space. He found the hole. Franzen spins forward and he's to the 35-yard line. He gets the first down pickup with some shifty running.
I think you can also ask all the students in Coach Wadley's health classes and his study halls of whether he thinks it's going to be a tough game on Friday night and how his strictness is during that study hall. But, yeah, he definitely tightens up that study hall come playoff time.
Well, I'd imagine, I don't know if it's the same for Coach Wadley or not, but the students have to at least try in class, right, to say, hey, Coach, what do you think about this week's game, right when he's about to get into the lesson and distract him before anything academic can happen.
The guy gave it a shot, but if it's a worthy opponent, he'll say, don't ask.
Yeah, we're focused on the game. We're on to the next opponent. It's the Bill Belichick. We're on to Cincinnati. Going in motion is Schmidt. He'll take the hand up to the right side. Schmidt hitting the backfield. He fights off one tackle. He breaks a second tackle, but the Golden Bears rally to the football, and Kramer and McGregor finally knock him down. C.J. McGregor and Carson Kramer in the areas. Again, tough running there by number 20, Caden Schmidt, but ultimately the Golden Bears just continue to flow to that ball.
Getting some linebacker time here for Rosemeyer, number 5, Weston Rosemeyer. I keep wanting to call him his older brother's number. I think they might run the same number. But older brother's here watching in the stands. But he's getting some time in here. They're going to work some players in for experience. They've got to work people in for Madden Miller. He's out with an injury, stellar linebacker for the Bears. But even despite injury, you have to work other guys in anyway. Always got to be ready.
Hugo Busta to the near side of the field. Logan Busta flinging it over the middle and incomplete. He and his receivers not on the same page. That ball sails about 10 yards over their head, and it'll set up 3rd down and 10.
Matt Besh comes into the game for the 3rd down situation. Carter McGregor comes out. Besh bringing a lot more size than McGregor. Matt Besh has put on some serious muscle. He spent a lot of last year injured, just a lot of nagging injuries for that kid. And I hope he's overcome them. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but you know, he's very good in the pool.
He certainly is, and we'll see him there in the winter with the Bishop Garrigan swim team. As Cruz is flexed out to the near side, 2 receivers are to the right. Busta in the gun, back to throw. Golden Bears will rush free. Busta zips it over the middle, and it's tipped and incomplete. He was targeting J.D. Cruz coming across the middle of the field towards the far side, and it's 4th down and 10 from the 35.
Well, there's been a lot of good coverage by the Bears, and there was on that play as well, but Busta put it right on the money for Cruz, and Cruz is going to have to go back to the huddle and explain himself. Like, that hit him right in the hands. Maybe he didn't get his head turned all the way. That's another thing that we can prognosticate up here how it looks, but it's hard to see that ball. You got that big helmet on your head.
Yeah, Busta throws a pretty tight spiral too, but he's had a few catchable balls dropped by the receivers as Joyce takes the punt at the 15 and drops it, and then dives back on top of it. Fortunately for Joyce, that ball didn't bounce anywhere as Schmidt was bearing down, and the Golden Bears will start at their own 15-yard line with 9:20 left in the quarter.
Went right through his basket there. He had kind of like he was squatting in the weight room, but it went right between his elbows, squirted through his knees and onto the ground. It's good to have that happen every once in a while if you're a punt returner, because it keeps you sharp. You just like it when it happens when you're up 30-0.
Yeah, and you could tell by his body language, Joyce wanted to take a risk on that play. The coverage was coming in. He thought, all right, I had a touchdown return on a kickoff last week. Let's try to break one here on a punt after letting the first few go, but ended up dropping it and recovering it as Joyce will be slot to the left, Borman wide to the left. Furch in the shotgun again as the Golden Bears showing a lot of shotgun tonight. Furch pumps, he keeps, he holds. He steps forward in the pocket and has a seam to the right. He's across the 15, he's to the 20, and pursued to the sideline by Cruz as Furch will step out of bounds just shy of the 21-yard line. They wanted a shot to Borman that time, but Furch ends up pulling it down and getting a positive gain of 6 yards.
Good decision by Furch. Boy,
Trey Keel
was on the outside. He was getting blocked by Rosemeyer, and initially he just grabbed Rosemeyer and threw him right out of the way, and I thought he was going to go in there and make a sack, but Rosemeyer recovered. He didn't give up, stayed with the block, and ended up freeing Furch up there. So there's a lesson for the youngsters out there. Keep blocking.
Golden Bears will pull a couple of guards here as running is Marceau. Marceau with a hole. He spins off a tackle. He's across the 30. Flags come in, though. Bishop Garrigan pulled their extra offensive lineman. Carson Kramer from left side as well as Schwab. But there's laundry behind the play, and they're already walking backwards.
Yeah, the back judge saw that. I think it's a block from behind. Everyone wanted to keep blocking. Caden Graves went over to ask the official, who was it?
And that'll be a hold on Bishop Garrigan. Boy, Beanie, I don't know if the official is just talking really loud or mic'd up. I've never heard the officials from up here, but this official, his voice carried all the way up here.
Keep in mind, listeners, we have these giant earmuffs over our ears. I can't hear anybody except Tyler. But I heard the official there. He must have some sort of personal microphone system because they're mic'd. Thank you. Mr. David Burrow enlightens us. They are mic'd, and he even let us know that it was Hayden Miller that got called for the penalty. Usually we don't get a let someone have it on the air.
2nd and 13. Marceau reverses field. He's got some space to the left. He's across the 15, full out of steam to the 20. Tripped up as he stumbles across the 25-yard line and gets the first down. That one will go for a 13-yard pickup at a first, but could have been a little more. Marceau started right, saw nothing, and then the improving vision beanies, he took it to the left.
Well, I bet Ethan Marceau, I'm going to ask him about that when I see him next time. I bet he loved that run. He didn't have to, he got to do everything he's been learning how to do as he's taken up the reins of a running back. He looked at the hole, read the blocker, saw it wasn't there. He switched the ball from his right hand to his left hand. He turned on the jets. Great run.
On 1st down and 10 from the 25, Furch to pass. Pocket is crumbling. Flag comes in as Furch is wrapped over the backfield and dragged down. The big rush of the middle by Cruz, but there is a flag in the secondary, so we'll wait and see on that call from the official.
Well, I mean, it could have been an illegal receiver downfield, but I think Furch was going to take off and run that anyway. But something going on downfield. Maybe.
Hunter Cruz collapsed the pocket. The Golden Bears are walking backwards right now, and we'll wait and see the call here.
Well, things were going too well, too easy. We got to shoot ourselves in the foot a couple times.
Well, regardless of the result of that play, Beanie, it is interesting. You talked before the game about Bishop Garrigan testing new things out, doing things a little differently, and not necessarily that it's new, but the offense almost exclusively from the shotgun tonight. You could tell there's something with spreading things out, passing a little more, working from the gun that the Golden Bears want to work on tonight.
Yeah, you were right when we were talking before the game. Like, this is something. Bears are trying this out.
Sideline interference called against Bishop Garrigan.
Oh.
That's where the flag came in from the near side official, as this will be half the distance to the goal. Although the sack on the play was recorded by Turkey Valley as well of Cruz. I would almost wonder if you'd want to decline that penalty. They've got a 2nd down on the down marker.
Double whammy.
So Golden Bears will have to get the ball to the 35-yard line as they are backed way up right now. Furch on the quarterback run. He gets a block. He escapes to the right side. He's to the 20. Furch has Joyce with a great block in front. 25-30. Down the sideline goes Furch, and he has the first down pickup.
No way.
Oh, no, they'll mark him back. The one official on the far side went past the sticks, but now he backs up. But he got all the yards except for one. And after a 2nd down and 20-plus yards, 25, it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Man, the Bears, I don't think, have been in that bad of a situation all season. 2nd down and 24. And Furch just erases it with one play.
And Michael Joyce had a great block there along the boundary.
Well, he an ornery little blocker out there, isn't he?
Ball's on the right side hash. Joyce into the short side of the field. Now he'll motion across the formation. And Furch reading, and flags come in before the play. A lot of times when that happens, you wonder if that was an illegal shift by the offense, as Golden Bears are backing up again with a penalty-ridden drive here.
Well, this is good. This will give something for the coaches to get after them about at halftime, which is still 8 minutes away. They might take a timeout just to get after some kids and tell them to tighten it up.
They're going to get a false start penalty against Nate Lear, the Bishop Garrigan right guard, and 3rd and 1 turns into a 3rd and 6 as the Golden Bears go back to their own 29.
Well, the officials are mic'd. I haven't been up close and personal with them, but I don't say I recognize these officials. I wonder if this is a different set, come from some distance.
Joyce goes in motion again. Golden Bears will run essentially the same play. Furch with the light hand up to Joyce, and he is snowed under. Maybe got 1 yard. Furch went with that long read. He held the ball and held and gave to Joyce at the last minute, and there was nothing home there.
That was just stubbornness on the coaching staff. They said, you know what? We know we can get a first down with play A, B, C, but we're going to run play X and prove that we can. It didn't work for him.
Now it's 4th down. Ball's at the 31-yard line. Furch is going to go for it from his own side of the field. He's in the gun right now. Furch has it. He gets a block by Marceau. Furch over the middle, has the first down. He darts across the 35-yard line out to the 38. He's tackled on the play by Franzen, but a great block to steal the edge by Marceau springs Furch for the first down carry.
Wow, is that confidence in Caden Graves, the center. Just know we're going to snap it. Graves is going to seal a guy one way, and Schwab and Lear are going to do the rest and let Furch pick away for the first down? Or is it supreme confidence in your defense? They would have given him great field position if they didn't get that one.
That too. 2 receivers to the right. Joyce and Borman. Furch is back to throw. He slings it out to Rosenbauer, who makes a one-handed grab. He runs into the sideline at the 32-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup. Rosenbauer snatched that out of the sky with his right bear claw.
Wow, that got a little bit of a rise out of the crowd. The crowd has been very pedestrian so far because they've seen this story before. Bears up huge in the first half, 30-0, but that was something impressive. He just snagged that thing. There's some stick-em on those gloves.
Yeah, everyone's wearing the gloves now, and those gloves are certainly...
Those things are so sticky, Tyler. I had to buy some for my son, Henry. $50, and boy, They are sticky. You can Spider-Man with those things.
Money well spent, folks. Is trouble on the snap. First picks it up off the ground. Keeps his eyes down the field. He readjusts. He takes a shot down the left sideline. Joyce outruns the defense. He makes the grab, and he goes in for a touchdown.
No way.
A broken play turns into a score. Tate Furch to Michael Joyce. Wow.
I said this earlier this season. Just throw the ball up in the air as far as you can, as high as you can, and let Michael Joyce do the rest. Furch fumbles the snap, picks it up, just chucks it down there. Good coverage, but Furch, in his infinite experience, threw it in the only place that Joyce could go get it. Wow, another highlight to watch. This game is going to be fun to reel back. I don't have the time, but I'm going to have to look at the highlights of this game later.
That was unbelievable. It looked like Graves maybe snapped it off his own leg, so Furch had to lunge forward and pick that ball off the ground, and then he readjusted in the pocket. He stayed calm, and he found Joyce, who sprinted past Franzen in coverage. The Golden Bears will bring the swinging gate in as Gage Meyer will look to tack on the PAT. Furch, the holder, snaps a little high. Furch puts it down. Meyer into the ball, and that kick is through the uprights and good as Bishop Garrigan leads 37-0 on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
It's Bishop Garrigan 37, Turkey Valley nothing here on Home Country Radio KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie, and the plethora of highlights so far this season for Michael Joyce and Tate Furch just added maybe even their biggest highlight of the year. We saw two incredible catches last week from Joyce against St. Edmund. This week it's Furch with a tremendous throw. Joyce with a great speed to outrun the coverage, and a broken play turns into a 40-plus yard touchdown for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, that's just a big chunk yardage play for those stats.
Meyer scripts down the middle. It hits off one of the upbacks, Kreiner, and there's a scramble to the football as Cruz comes up to dive on top of it at the 20-yard line, as Turkey Valley will have 6:58 and ticking as the Golden Bears have gotten across that 35-point running clock threshold.
Well, Cruz saved the day. It contacted one of the Turkey Valley players, so it was a free ball for the Bears to get and take the ball back on offense again. And one of the guys just ran right past the ball, and Cruz frantically dove on it and saves it for his team. Boy, let's see if they can muster up any confidence here. They drove 110 miles to be whipped 37-0 with 6.5 minutes to go till half yet.
Double wing formation for Turkey Valley. Franzen and Schmidt are the two wing backs as Franzen goes in motion right to left. Franzen takes it as a little hole, but Joyce closes that hole quickly and drives Franzen backwards. A helmet into the chest that time will keep that to about a 2.5-yard pickup.
Well, that defensive confidence there. Coach Patterson has his line split completely out. He's got two guys far right, two guys far left. It looks like it'll be an easy run up the middle for the running back for Turkey Valley. But those Bear linebackers and safeties, that time Michael Joyce, their closing speed is incredible. So Coach Patterson has all the confidence in the world. Talked about those Pattersons earlier wearing shorts, but I can't imagine how many conversations between father and son their entire life were about defensive coaching in football.
Golden Bear defense right now for 2nd down and 8. Turkey Valley has it at the 23. Busta slings it near side, and the pass is near the sideline and incomplete. It was right into the tracks of the intended receiver, Mitchell Kreiner, nearly swatted down by Rosenmeyer, but it'll set up a 3rd down and 8.
Weston Rosenmeyer almost had another one-handed snag there for an interception, just slightly off his fingertips. You know, I joke about those gloves, Tyler, but I'm not kidding. They're incredibly sticky. I suppose they cost $50, and $49 of that is the sticky part.
Yeah, I'm sure as much as legally is allowed is how they design those gloves.
Well, it is something if you think about looking at guys that played football way back in the day before gloves. How many more balls would they have caught?
Here's Busta back to throw, has some pressure again, flies the pass to the near side, and it's picked up by Joyce. He's to the 15, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, he's gone! Touchdown, Michael Joyce on the pick 6. Franzen the intended target, the throw a little bit late to the boundary, and Joyce saw that coming the whole way.
Well, the ball had some zip on it. It looked like it might be a successful completion, but say hello to Michael Joyce, who just jumped the route just like in a D-back drill in practice. gets his footwork, makes a break on the ball, and snags it. Outstretched hand, snags it right out of the receiver's vision and back the other way. And boy, there's nothing like an adrenaline shot after the interception you just made to really turn on the Jets. Boy, that's a fun play. It doesn't happen to hardly anybody, the old pick six. What a fun moment.
43-0 Bishop Garrigan as the Golden Bears bring the swinging gate back in. Gage Meyer to kick the extra point. Better snap to first this time. Meyer boots it up, and it is through the uprights and good as Bishop Garrigan leads 44-0 with 4:51 left in the first half on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Bringing you this game.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East, Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Oak Crest Funeral Service, celebrating a life lived.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair Service is the difference.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840 or schindlerlawncare@gmail.com.
Last week was a special teams touchdown for Michael Joyce. This week, a receiving touchdown and a defensive touchdown on the pick six. Bishop Garrigan leads Turkey Valley 44-0 as Gage Meyer kicks left to right on the radio dial. He'll scoop it down the middle of the field, takes a high hop for Caleb Kreiner, that is. He bends it back to the middle of the field. He's across the 25-yard line, and Kreiner will be stopped at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Leo Snyder for Bishop Garrigan.
Leo Snyder plays a little linebacker in the JV. And, boy, great job. He got blocked. I had my eyes right on him, and he got blocked, but just stayed with it and fought off the blocker, made the tackle.
So Turkey Valley trying to get it going on offense, still being limited to just one first down up to this point, as it'll be a shotgun formation this time for Busta. Or will it? He's waiting to get back underneath center here as the Golden Bears run to McGregor late. They'll bring in another four-man front, as now Busta will climb underneath center. Has one back. Schmidt offset to the right a little bit. Franzen takes it from behind the backfield. He tries to drive the legs forward, but Ethan Marceau's not going to let you get too far there as Marceau puts him in the bear hug and stops him for a 1-yard gain.
Boy, that four-man defensive front is just a nightmare for any offense that tries to run against the Bears. If you, for some reason, can get by Carson, Kramer, and whoever else is in the middle, that time it was Schwab. If you can get past those guys, then Ethan Marceau is right there. I mean, that middle is clogged.
Second down at 9, 3:35 and ticking. Ball's at the 28-yard line of Turkey Valley as the Golden Bears keep that four-man front on the field of Kramer, Schwab, and then Rosenmeyer and McGregor at the end positions. And now Rosenmeyer's going to spread out wide here. 4 receivers for Turkey Valley. Back to throw, it's Busta being flushed out to the right. He zips it to the sideline, and it's low and incomplete. Another good ball, but J.D. Cruz, with the diving attempt, couldn't haul it in, and it's third down and 9.
You know, thinking about young Brian Patterson, growing up in the Ron Patterson household, I can imagine many Friday nights that Ron Patterson got home and they just talked all night about what coverage they should have been in, what stunts they should have run. And I will say Brian Patterson, quite a student of the game of football. He really loves it. You can see him coaching on there. He loves these moments.
He has him in a third down and 9 right now as Besh comes in at the nose guard spot for Bishop Garrigan. Busta underneath center of 2 receivers to the right. It's a 4-man rush as Marshall blitzes. Busta in trouble, but he escapes to the left. He's to the 25, a long way to go, and Dalton Clens runs him into the sideline. Busta got back to the line of scrimmage for no gain, and it'll be 4th down and 9 from the 28-yard line.
They sent Marshall on a blitz. Matt Besh and him kind of traded. They did a little twist. Besh goes one way and Marshall goes the other. They chose to block Besh, and Marshall had a good path to the QB. You know, you run those blitzes for one reason. You overwhelm the number of blockers, and they can't block everybody on a blitz.
Yeah, and plus Turkey Valley, they're running these deep drops from underneath center. This Golden Bear pass rush is just getting home too quickly for the plays to develop and for Buster to have any time. Punt is delivered by Cruz. It's towards the near side of the field. Joyce will let it bounce to the 25. It rolls towards the sideline. Joyce tiptoes and he stays in bounds. He's to the 25-yard line, and Schmidt will push him into the boundary right there. Joyce was able to garner an extra 5 yards by not going out of bounds, and Bishop Garrigan starts with 1:48 on the clock.
You know, I think when they initially made the football schedule way back on the school scheduling world, I think this would have been homecoming versus Rockford. But after last year, I thought they predicted maybe Rockford might not have a team, so we could be in the middle of a homecoming route, which wouldn't be so bad.
Now, a couple weeks ago, Bishop Garrigan did do exactly that, but it was early September against North Iowa with a 70-6 win. Early homecoming, obviously, but you never want to be in a spot where your homecoming game might get canceled. Furch in the gun again. Three-man rush, back to throw. Furch looking, zips to Borman, who got his hands underneath and makes the grab at the 33-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and Bishop Garrigan will get into their 2-minute offense here, hustling up. Furch from the gun, quickly to the line of scrimmage. He's back to throw. Three-man rush again, clean pocket, and a clean throw to Rosenmeyer on the right side. He's across the 40, and he's to the 38-yard line. Solid pickup there, and Bishop Garrigan's on the plus side of the field as a timeout is called for by Bishop Garrigan with 1:06 left in the first half.
You know, I know I'm going to put words in people's mouths that I've never even heard, but I know out there's a lot of people that think, well, Tate Furch can just run the ball, and he's got that offensive line, and yeah, that's true. And they doubt his success as a passer. But he has showed tonight that ball, the Joyce that he put out there for only Joyce to get it, the one that he threw to Borman in the end zone, and now as we run this 2-minute drill, watching Tate Furch be the drop-back passer, you can't doubt Tate Furch's all-around skills as a quarterback. Very, very well-rounded quarterback. That pass that he just zipped to Rosemeyer was a textbook big man drop-back passer. You know, that's I'm impressed with Tate here in these 2-minute drills.
I really am too, and Beanie, was interesting. When I talked to Tate Furch earlier this season on our Student Athlete of the Week spotlight on KLGA, he said that he'd added several extra yards to his deep ball in the offseason, and that really makes it so he doesn't have to necessarily throw full strength when you're trying to push the ball down the field. And we've seen him connect with Joyce on more deep shots this year, and even those intermediate routes. I just think it's more accuracy by Furch. He's giving his receivers a better ball, which he was already giving them good passes in the first place, but it's just a new level this year. He's looking to throw again. Cruz comes on the rush. Furch flush to the right side, trying to turn the corner. Flag from behind the play as Furch runs into the sideline near the initial line of scrimmage, and will check the flag with 59 seconds left in the first half.
Well, now that these referees are mic'd, we can know just who to blame. My guess is Lear, because he was chasing the play and he might have snagged a jersey. A lot of linemen want to protect their quarterback, and if your quarterback's going to get crushed, you take the penalty if it means saving your quarterback from getting drilled on a run like that by Furch.
It is going to be a hold on Lear, Beanie, so you diagnosed that exactly right.
And I'm okay with that, because if Lear's guy goes and smears Furch from behind and takes him out and hurts him, that's the end of that senior season potentially. So that's a good hold by Lear. I'll call it a good penalty. But Furch's footwork in that last one, another great one. And his ball handling, he's got the ball up. It's perfect.
Furch is going to try to push the ball into the intermediate range. He finds Joyce past the initial line of scrimmage. That's a 13-yard pickup, and timeout is called as Joyce got hit pretty hard on that play by Cruz, and it'll set up a second down and about 9 yards to go. Golden Bears will take another timeout with 49 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout as well of Coach Wadley. Golden Bears one timeout left, leading 44-0 on KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce, 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance.
Daylight Donuts open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway, everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Bishop Garrigan trying to execute the 2-minute offense. They have 49 seconds left, one timeout, leading Turkey Valley 44-0. Balls at the Turkey Valley 36-yard line. 2 receivers to each side for Tate Furch. Joyce goes in motion from the right side slot. Furch back to throw. He fakes the Joyce. It's a screen to Borman. Borman down the middle, and he has space. He's got a convoy in front. He's to the 20. He's to the 15. Out of the tackle, 10, 5. Dives for the end zone, and a flag comes in at the last minute. He's out of bounds just shy of the goal line, but there's a flag sitting down at the 6-yard line. Borman had a convoy that time, but there may have been an issue there if some of the blocks the Golden Bears set up.
Oh, whatever this penalty is on the blocker downfield, I don't think it would have mattered in the play. I didn't see one.
It'll be a hold against C.J. McGregor.
Man, I didn't even see C.J. down there. I saw Moose downfield blocking. What a beautiful screen pass. I called that before the game. We haven't seen the screen pass yet. It was a beautiful setup. Nice call, Coach Kesselring. They split Joyce out. They faked the throw to him, and beautiful screen.
Now remember, that's a spot foul, so it's still a first down at the yardage Bishop Garrigan got because that penalty is down the field. First jump ball in the end zone, and it's knocked away. It was Cruz and Joyce battling at that back boundary, and that was good coverage that time. It'll be 23 seconds left in the half. Second down and 10 for the Golden Bears. Inside this Red Power Red Zone, brought to you by the Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt. And the Golden Bears will expend one more timeout, their final of the half.
They take the chance with the jump ball to Joyce in the back of the end zone. Doesn't go their way. Good call, the timeout, as that clock was moving fast. And they had Rosemeyer and the little underneath route. We'll see if they come back to that little tight end motion. But this has been a great display of 2-minute offense here by the Bears, and that should give the Golden Bear faithful a lot of confidence that down the road, assuming in the playoffs, if we get in a tight spot and they stop their running power, this Garrigan team has shown they can pass against anybody with Borman and Joyce and Rosemeyer and the young Miller, and then the old Miller, if he gets back healthy and takes care of that ankle. A lot of receiving threats out there.
So Golden Bears running the 2-minute offense. You know the coaching staff was itching for this situation. Golden Bears get the ball back, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Perfect time to work on this 2-minute drive.
No timeouts left now, so the Bears are going to be trying to get out of bounds.
Cleanse the receiver to the right. Furch is throwing down the middle for Joyce. He dives and he almost made an unbelievable catch. He was pursued and covered by Franzen, and Furch led him just a bit too far as Joyce nearly made up for it. Remember, it's a running clock, so we're down to 5 seconds. Furch with one more play before halftime. He's back to throw. Furch holding, looking, escaping towards the left. A hold on the Golden Bears as a flag comes in. Furch to the 5. Furch banging his way to the end zone, and he's in for a touchdown, but it's not going to matter because they're going to get Carter Schwab on a hold for this one.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing these either. Boy, there's a fine-tooth comb going through that offensive line, getting all the nits out of it.
That one looked a little more clear to me on that one. Usually I'm asking who was the hold. That one looked pretty clear to me on that. I think the officials were on top of that one.
You know when I see all the holds is when the team I'm cheering for is behind. Then it seems like everybody is holding.
Never
my
fails,
guys.
does it?
That's right.
The Vikings need a big 2-minute drive at the end of the game, and it's holding on the left tackle.
That's right. They're holding all the time. But when you're up 44-0, it doesn't seem like your guys should be holding. I mean, why are you holding? You're up huge.
So because Furch scored a touchdown on the play, Turkey Valley accepts the penalty, and Bishop Garrigan does still get to do an untimed down here.
The second untimed down. 2 quarters, 2 untimed downs. I don't think that's happened ever in school history, I bet.
You don't see that every day, folks, that's for sure. But now a much tougher play to try to get to the end zone. Ball's at the 28-yard line. Golden Bears send 3 receivers to the left, including Marceau. Joyce is isolated to the right side. Furch will await the snap from Graves. It's a good snap. Furch to the right. He's contained well by the defensive line. Here comes the pressure. He shakes off the tackle attempt by Kreiner. Lobs to the end zone. Fight for the football, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Great positioning that time by the defensive back Schmidt, who got in front of the intended target, Joyce, and boxed him out as the first half comes to an end. It's all Bishop Garrigan once again. Golden Bears on top at halftime, 44-0 here on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. We'll get to your Edward Jones halftime show shortly. First, a quick timeout, and we'll get back here for the Murphy Realty Management first half recap. Algona Municipal Utilities, you make the call. All coming up on Halftime Show.
Sponsors of this game broadcast.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Ruhnke Brothers. Experience the Ruhnke Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Tafe Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Water Connection. From softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
That's it for the first half of play. Now get set for the Edward Jones Halftime Show featuring Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. And the Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Your Edward Jones representatives are Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Count on me for financial strategies that can help support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me at 515-295-7766 and let's find your rich. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Member SIPC.
Safe and affordable housing. Those are words we like to hear. And Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides just that. With properties in Algona and several surrounding counties, Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides safe and affordable apartments at a time when everyone could really use it. They pride themselves as a local entity that aims to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call at 515-295-2927 or stop in their office located at 208 East State Street in Algona. This institution is an equal housing opportunity provider.
We're back here in your Edward Jones halftime show, brought to you by Representatives Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. At the half, Bishop Garrigan leads Turkey Valley 44-0 as it's time for our Murphy Realty Management first half recap. The game started with the same script that we've seen pretty much all throughout the season for the Golden Bears. A 3-and-out on their first defensive possession, then the offense going down and getting the initial score. The first score of the game was actually the first varsity touchdown of the sophomore tight end, Hayden Miller. Tate Furch was able to boot out to the right, hit Miller, and then Miller rumbled down the sideline, outrunning the defense for a 62-yard touchdown. Golden Bears taking the 8-0 lead. After that, the Golden Bears went to the all-reliable sledgehammer. Ethan Marshall scoring the second touchdown of the night as he put Bishop Garrigan up 14-0 in the first quarter. After that, Tate Furch continued the aerial attack. He found Kyle Borman for an 11-yard score of 2:09 remaining in the first. 22-0 Golden Bears at that point. Once we began the second quarter, Ethan Marceau scored on a longer touchdown run, giving the Golden Bears their fourth score of the game and his second rushing touchdown. Then Michael Joyce really took over in this ball game. A busted play turned into a touchdown as a snap on the ground was picked up by Tate Furch. He bought a little time, he fired down the sidelines, and Michael Joyce on that go route caught the reception, 7-0. Then the final score of the first half came on a pick six by Michael Joyce on the very next Turkey Valley possession as Joyce jumped to pass along the sideline, took it back about 20 yards for the touchdown, and that brings us to the half where it's 44-0 Bishop Garrigan. Golden Bears had one more chance to score right before halftime. They tried to march down to the 2-minute offense, but penalties ultimately short-circuited that drive as the Hail Mary into the end zone was no good. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. Beanie, I recapped that first half, all the scoring and the excitement and the big plays.
Took you about 3 minutes there to do so much scoring.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm really excited about is what the defense did in the first half. Only one first down by Turkey Valley. I mean, they're trying. They're going to the outside a little bit. They're going to the inside. There's just nothing home. You can see some good athletic skill position players, but once again, this defensive line, that four-man front that we talked about earlier, is really just wreaking havoc on the offense.
Yeah, that defense has been outstanding tonight. After they made that first down, Turkey Valley gets that initial first down, and I thought, all right, might have a little ball game here. They can move the football, but just a few adjustments, and that's what this coaching staff does so well. I did confirm that Ron Patterson, the former athletic director for years, does indeed talk a lot with Brian Patterson, the current defensive coordinator, and that is, of course, great to hear. But what I'm getting to is that it's all that coaching staff. There's a couple coaches up here in the booth with us. You know, both teams get a couple guys in the press box up here, and on the headsets between the field and up top, there's constant adjustments making. Scott Miller's up here. He's one of the coaches, and they get on those headsets, and as soon as they see something like some little wrinkle, some little adjustment they can make, even if it's something, I hear them barking out things like, move this guy a half a step to the left, put this guy back 2 yards. They just make all these adjustments on the fly, and then Coach Patterson down there relays it to the players, and so it's really definitely a full team effort on the coaching staff, which a little unique in 8-man football. There's 8 players on the field. We got 8 coaches, it feels like, as well. And so plenty of attention to detail on that Garrigan Bear defense, which, as you said, has been stifling. Now I'm going to flip it over to you, Tyler, talk about some more offense. I will say I now realize why the boys voted to stay 8-man football, because it's so much fun offensively. You know, Garrigan could hand it off to Marceau every time. 5 yards in a cloud of dust, and Marshall would break plenty of runs. And Garrigan could win plenty of games this year doing that, but their offense is wide open. I have prided myself in being able to predict offenses for Garrigan over the year. I have no clue what's coming next for these guys.
Yeah, that's a great thing about what they're doing tonight. And, Petey, based on your pregame prognostication, I would have thought that you were in the coaches' meetings heading into this game. You talked about Golden Bears have to do something a little unique today, change things up a bit, practice things for the eventual hopeful playoff run for Bishop Garrigan. And today, it's clearly the spread it out, play from the shotgun, gun it all over the field kind of game for Bishop Garrigan. Yes, the running game's mixed in there as well, but normally we're seeing let's call it a 80-20 run-to-pass type of ratio, maybe 70-30. Tonight, it seems like that's a little more reversed, maybe 60-40, 65-35 in favor of the pass, operating a lot from the shotgun. Even the running game is primarily shotgun-based tonight, but they're getting a lot of different receivers involved. We're seeing some more Rosenmeyer touches, some more Borman touches. Of course, Michael Joyce makes a new athletic play each week, but this is clearly we're going to spread it out, really work on the passing game type of thing, and functions from the shotgun week.
And that's enabled a bunch of more guys to get involved in the game. Linemen like pass blocking, usually a little more than run blocking. Well, no, I would not these Garrigan guys. No, I'm sure Schwab would rather run block. But these receivers got involved more. Kyle Borman with that impressive touchdown catch. He's got a few targets tonight. He's a senior. He's paid his dues for the Bears. It's good to see him get on the score. He got that nifty run down the sideline. So, yeah, he's getting an outlook. I guess my question is, besides Borman, who I knew was going to get in the offense, they're looking for ways to get guys in the offense because they have so much talent. They got so much speed. They got so many guys that you want to get the ball to. Who else are we going to see get the ball? Are we going to see something like Marceau get the ball out of the backfield on a pass? Are we going to see C.J. McGregor get the ball more? I'm just curious, what are we going to see here in the second half that we haven't seen yet?
Well, it's always interesting. You look at some of the offensive formations, and if a play goes a certain way, you file it away and say, that formation may be used for something else later on in the season. One thing I noticed during that 2-minute drive, and maybe this was just because it was a desperation Hail Mary type of situation, but at one point they had 3 receivers to the left, and one of those receivers was Marceau, and Marceau out wide. That's interesting. That might be something to file away. Or even if you think back to a couple weeks ago when they played North Iowa, Golden Bears had a formation where they had 3 receivers basically lined up on the back of each other out to one side of the field. It's like, oh, that could be interesting later in the season. So you show these formations on tape, you make the opposing coaches think a bit, and then maybe later in the season you run a different play out of the same formation. Yeah,
that's interesting to think of. Ethan Marceau's number 1 skill is hard to remember, but for the last 2 years, he's been Garrigan's lead blocker. He is a fantastic lead blocker. If he's out there on the flat and they throw the ball to Joyce with Ethan Marceau in front blocking, whew, it's just so much fun for Coach Kesselring and Coach Wadley to sit down and think, well, now what should we try offensively? Those Hail Marys at the end of the first half, I believed every time that someone was going to come up with them. I thought everyone's a 50-50 ball. I could see Joyce or Borman or Rosemeyer or anybody going up and get that ball, but none of them fell complete, which is frustrating since they had a nice 2-minute execution. It was really those penalties that really shot them in the foot, and I bet that's what they're talking about. This coaching staff for Bishop Garrigan, they're not in there yelling at the guys that got holding penalties, I don't think. But they're definitely explaining to them why they got it and why we can't be doing that again. So I think this coaching staff has really developed over the years. You know, football has changed a lot. The way they play it, the way the kids' attitudes are, and that definitely the way they coach it. It's not just like fire-breathing coaches with success anymore. You have to work with the kids. You've got to reason with them. You got to use logic. And this coaching staff, I'm giving a lot of credit to those guys tonight because I think they deserve it. This team doesn't have to be good. Sure, they got a lot of good athletes. We've seen lots of teams with good athletes lose. Yeah, they're really doing a nice job of melding this team into a virtual powerhouse here in 8-man.
Yeah, it's a really disciplined and cohesive unit for the Golden Bears, who right now have the 44-0 lead at the half. We'll step aside for another timeout on your Edward Jones halftime show and get to your Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call coming up next on KLGZ.
Life changes, then it changes again. At Edward Jones, we believe that when it comes to your financial goals, you can't predict the unexpected, but you can prepare. Challenges such as job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Jorgensen, an Edward Jones financial advisor. Let's work together to help make sure you're ready for life's ups and downs. Call us at 515-395-4021 to get started. Together with Brady Ross, Jerry Sokup, and Bruce Keith, we are local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's time for You Make the Call as we test your knowledge of the rules. You Make the Call is brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit. Our referee this evening is Tom Claude.
A18, Pooch kicks the opening kickoff. His teammate, A82, catches a kick in the air at B's 41-yard line, which is 19 yards from the free kick line, with no one from TB within 5 yards of the play. Can Team A keep possession of the football? You make the call.
Make the call with AMU Telephone Service. AMU local and long-distance telephone provides the call clarity and reliability you expect at an affordable price. Enhance your AMU telephone service with calling features like caller ID and voicemail. When you switch to AMU telephone, you can keep your 295 phone number and you get friendly local customer service. Make the call to AMU to install AMU telephone. Algona Municipal Utilities, community-owned for community benefit.
While the kick did legally go beyond 10 yards, Team A is guilty of kick-catch interference. When any free kick, like a kickoff, is in flight in or beyond the neutral zone to the receiver's goal line, the kicking team may not touch the ball or receiving team player unless blocked into either the ball or the player. More times than not, Team B will put the ball into play with 1st and 10 at the A44-yard line.
And this has been You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit.
Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Hi, I'm Bruce Keith, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help make your retirement goals a reality. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we get you there. Together, we can plan for the expected and make sure you're ready for the unexpected. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sokup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
You shouldn't need an advanced degree to figure out how to pay for one. Hi, I'm Brady Ross, your Algona Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help you understand all the options you have when paying for an education. Whether you're the first in your family to attend college or planning for a grandchild to build on a legacy that goes back generations, let's work together to take care of your unique financial needs. Call me at 515-295-7763 to get started today. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Score at the half, Bishop Garrigan 44 and Turkey Valley 0. As your halftime report here on Home Country Radio KLGZ is brought to you by your Edward Jones representatives, Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. 44-0 as we begin half number 2. Beanie will be fascinated to watch. We know the starters will be back out there for another drive or two at least, depending on how the second half plays out. Do the Golden Bears still want to open it up, spread it, throw it down the field, or do they start to get a little more conservative here in the half of the running clock and knowing that the bench players will be coming in shortly?
Well, I think that first team is going to be forced to go out there and prove that they can have a clean drive, a one good solid march down the field. I don't think they're going to get too cute. They're just going to do a classic Bishop Garrigan drive, a lot of good hard running, good blocking. And if they prove that they can pull that and execute, then they might get a reprieve, and the second team might come in here if they can put on another score and go up 50-0. That seems to be the signal to call off the Dogs.
Yeah, we'll see how early it happens here tonight, but most things clicking for the Golden Bears. I do think we've talked about the penalties. This is definitely the most penalized night so far for Bishop Garrigan, and you can say that's maybe the officiating, you can say whatever you want, but that is something that the coaches are really going to focus on here, cleaning up.
I suspect it's because this opponent is a little more talented than the other guys that Bishop Garrigan has played. Linemen hold when they are going against someone good, and his holding calls on linemen are probably due to that.
Yeah, the Bishop Garrigan offensive line, they've gotten a bit more of a test tonight, and I always look at the opponent and say, like, what can they do to challenge Bishop Garrigan? What's a little different than other teams? And Turkey Valley, they really do have some pieces. I mean, like you said, their offensive and defensive line, smaller than Garrigan, but some athletic guys on there, good skill position guys too, but this Garrigan defense is just kind of a sledgehammer that grinds you into the ground. The Garrigan offense, they can be methodical like they've shown tonight. They can also push the ball down the field. It's such a balanced attack. There's really not one weakness where if you're coming into play Garrigan, you say, all right, they've got this one huge weakness, we just attack practice all night and we're good. They really haven't shown a particular weakness this season.
Every team, every opponent, I should say, has a couple plays that are their bread and butter. And when you come out at the beginning of the game and your best plays don't go anywhere, boy, it really takes the wind out of your sails. And we see that week after week of the teams coming in here. They pull out their best plays against Garrigan. Garrigan's defense has them, they're prepared for it, they're ready, they stuff it, and you can just see the shoulders on the other team just kind of start to sag a little bit. And the boys, they're smart. They realize, oh, if this play doesn't work, we're in trouble, especially when the linemen come back to the huddle. As a quarterback and you look at the eyes of your linemen, your offensive linemen, and they get this look on their face where they're just telegraphed to you with their body language that this is not going to work tonight. And those boys have it right away tonight against the Bishop Garrigan defense.
Well, now it'll be Turkey Valley kicking off to start the second half as they'll kick from left to right on the radio dial. Bishop Garrigan won the opening coin toss tonight, and they deferred after a rare coin toss loss last week at St. Edmund. The Golden Bears are back to their coin toss winning ways here tonight as they have Michael Joyce back to receive. Joyce had the 76-yard kick return touchdown last week. I think I credited him for 86 yards on the broadcast, but that's not possible if the ball goes into the end zone. It's a touchback. As the kick is away, Joyce fields it at the 4-yard line. Here he comes up the middle. Joyce to the 15. He's to the near side for the 20, and he's hemmed in along the sidelines. Good special teams tackle there by J.D. Cruz. They did not let Joyce get to that corner and turn it up the field.
Beautiful play by Cruz for Turkey Valley. I watched him the whole way. He's a stellar player for them. Nobody wanted to block him, I think because they know he's good, but he just knifed through the Garrigan blockers and ran down Joyce. Those two have been going against each other all night.
So this time Bishop Garrigan comes out underneath center. Double tights with two running backs in the backfield. Marshall's the fullback and McGregor's the tailback as C.J. McGregor takes it. He is hit and he is ripped down by Cruz as he spins forward. That'll be a 2-yard pickup for C.J. McGregor on his first non-2-point conversion carry of the game.
Well, as predicted, Garrigan coming out with their bread and butter. I formation, Marceau blocking. Coach Wiley wants to exercise his authority, and they only pick up a couple there. The challenge is on. Turkey Valley coming out with some momentum out of their halftime break.
Golden Bears have shifted Marshall to the fullback position here. We talked about his prolific lead blocking during halftime. Furch turns and gives to McGregor. McGregor from the middle, got a block by Marceau. McGregor across the 25. He's shy of the 30-yard line, and it'll set up a 3rd down and 1. As they're working the ball into different offensive weapons so far in this game. C.J. McGregor on the season, 6.5 yards per carry. Just over 120 yards on the ground on 19 carries coming into tonight. And a 3rd and short situation. Golden Bears are just playing bully ball here to start the second half.
I formation once again. 2 tight ends, I formation.
McGregor now motions out of the backfield, and Bishop Garrigan false started. It was Rosenmeyer, the tight end on the left side of the line, who jumped forward early just as McGregor was motioning out, and a 3rd and 1 will turn into a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Furch did some sort of signal to send McGregor, who was going in motion to the right. He might have been a distraction just to try to take a linebacker out of there that went with McGregor. We'll see if they stick with the same play.
So now a little bit longer to go here as once again Golden Bears go I formation. Miller and Rosenmeyer, the 2 tight ends, one each side of the line. Furch will give it into the belly of McGregor, and he's blown up in the backfield. Eli Holdhouse, the 220-pound senior, came through the line, and he drops McGregor for a 4-yard loss.
Wow, a little stunt there. Turkey Valley rolling the dice. They run a little blitz. No one picked up number 71, and he makes Garrigan pay. He came from his left tackle spot. And punt for Bishop Garrigan, a rare thing.
This is just the second punt by Michael Joyce, Bishop Garrigan's starting punter. They also had we'll call it a backup punter punt early in the season. As the snap is high, Joyce steps up to grab it, and he fakes. He runs out to the right, now he unloads it. Had a man in his face, and what a play by Joyce. Fair catch called for and taken in by Cruz. Coming off the edge was Trenton Franzen, and Joyce made a wise play there, Beanie. He faked, he let the man go by him, and then he punted it away, saving the blocked punt.
Yeah, boy, that got my heart racing a little bit there. Could have been a field flip position. Good play by Joyce as usual. Also a great play there by Dalton Klenn, showing his speed. He motored down the field and was face-to-face with the kick returner for Turkey Valley as he called for that fair catch.
I cannot tell you, folks, how calm we have to be to pull off what Michael Joyce just pulled off. That was impressive. Double wing formation for Turkey Valley. The wing on the left side is Schmidt. Franzen on the right side. Franzen motions towards the left. He'll take the handoff. Franzen trying to bend it off the left tackle, and Schwab jumps on his back. Franzen is dropped for a 1-yard loss. And once again, not a whole lot of room to roam out of that double wing formation.
Well, the the calmness that you just mentioned for Joyce is kind of something that I think a lot of Bishop Garrigan players have. Furch, obviously. Like, these kids have played so much sports to this point in their life. They're way more mature in the field of competition than I think athletes of the past. They've been in so many situations. For instance, Joyce playing in all these basketball leagues that are intense and a lot of big moments. And just here at Garrigan, all these kids have been in a lot of big spots.
Mitchell Kreiner's out to the right. Hugo Busta in the slot, that is. The pass is thrown low and incomplete to J.D. Cruz. Once again, Logan Busta had a man in his face and had to unload that ball low, as it's 3rd down and 10 now from the 24-yard line.
Well, 3rd down and 10. This is a challenge for the defense here. Turkey Valley has shown the ability to run that split back formation. They run a lot of different things out of that. Bears have been in good coverage deep, but 3rd down, of course, such a crucial to stop. This is where I feel the quarterback is at his most deadly. If they would roll him out, they got Cruz split right. Look for him to come towards us on the near side of the field.
Golden Bears come out with that 4-man line once again. Underneath center is Busta. He's back to throw. Here comes big-time pressure as Busta sprints towards his right. Busta to the 20-yard line. He's to the 25. Tiptoes the sideline. And a late hit by Bishop Garrigan. Busta got past the line of scrimmage for a 2-yard pickup. It was not anything big, but some contact to the quarterback, and that flag came in right where you'd expect a late hit to be called.
Yeah, I think what drew that flag is that the quarterback had kind of conceded that the play was over. But, you know, he could also turn on the jets and then try to start running again. He did roll out right. He tried to get himself some space, and he was looking downfield at Cruz. But Cruz was really well covered, so the quarterback said, well, I guess I'll just go out of bounds. But hardly any contact there at all. Nothing in sportsmanlike, but enough to get up a 1st down and then some.
They'll get Kramer for the 15-yard penalty as Turkey Valley has their 2nd 1st down of the night, and they are across midfield for the first time today as the ball's at the Bishop Garrigan 37-yard line.
Well, this is not what Coach Wadley wanted to see coming out of halftime. He did do their standard, wanted to see the I formation score a touchdown. That didn't happen.
Busta fakes one way as Besh in the backfield. He throws to the right, and it's incomplete. Tried to get the defense looking every which way, but good coverage out there as Hugo Busta was the intended target. And the Golden Bears force a 2nd down and 10.
Pressure on the play by Matt Besh, once again forcing Busta to throw the ball before he wanted to. Nearly another pick by Michael Joyce, who was closing fast. You know, talking about the maturity of these athletes, not only is Michael Joyce calm, you know, he's not a real loud guy, but I've heard he is on the football field.
Yeah, there's sometimes a different energy when you step in between the lines. Who you are walking through the halls at school might be a totally different person than who you are on Friday night, as Schmidt takes the pitch left side, and the Golden Bears hem him in along the sideline. Tate Furch ranging sideline to make that tackle, and it'll set up a 3rd down and about 8 yards to go.
Yeah, after seeing Dalton Clens play the cornerback position for nearly every spot in the first half, Furch is coming in here in the second half playing some first-team defense. I wonder if that's something they told Tate before the game, like, hey, you can play some defense in the second half perhaps, but is there such thing as a rationing minutes here in the high school levels? What do they call that in the big
Load management.
Load management, yes.
It'll be 3rd down and 9 from the 36-yard line. Back to throws Busta with a deep drop. They're trying to set up a screen. Busta pulls it down. He throws. It's low, and it's incomplete as he dirks that ball, looking for Hugo Busta. The offensive lineman released, but nothing was open there initially, and it's 4th down and 9.
You know, they're 8-man football. It's still football. People say it all the time. But there's one major difference there if you're a defensive lineman. You have more room. These Garrigan defensive linemen, that time it was Besh, Schwab, and Kramer. They're all over the field. In the 11-man game, you don't see defensive linemen cover that much territory.
So now it'll be a punt. J.D. Cruz has been a busy man. Cruz awaits the snap as Hunter Cruz snaps to J.D. Cruz, and he right foots the ball way down the field. Joyce tracking it back towards the end zone, and he will let it go as it bounces into that green grass down to our right with 5:08 and taking left in the 3rd quarter, and a 44-0 Bishop Garrigan lead.
Well, that ball bounced at about the 1.5-yard line. I wanted Joyce to go in and catch it and take off and do another highlight reel punt return or something, but he made the good choice. He saw that it was going to bounce into the end zone, and the Bears will take it on the 15.
He looked like he was looking for a reason to return that ball just on his body language, but he made the smart play and let it go, as the Golden Bear first-team offense will get another crack at it here, 5:08 on the clock. It's 44-0 as the Golden Bears are on top of Turkey Valley.
Here we go, I formation again, 2 tight ends, Rosemeyer and Miller. They'll be the receivers, but it's a run to Marceau.
McGregor motions out of the backfield. Marceau takes it to the middle. He bangs his way forward. Just some good north and south running as he's across the 20 out to the 21.
A lot of bodies hit the turf. That time Caden Graves put Cruz on his back way downfield. And then a lot of guys helping each other up. I think they both know what's happening here at 44-0.
Borman will be the lone wide receiver. He's to the left. It's 2 tight ends, 1 running back for the Golden Bears as Borman motions. He takes the handoff from across the formation, running towards his right. Borman trying to get around the corner. He's near the first down sticks as J.D. Cruz tracks him down, but it'll be a 4-yard pickup for Borman as he moves the chains with 4:25 on the clock. Borman is a little slow to get up after that play as he holds his right leg.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to pop up, and then he went right back down holding that right knee. Might have twisted something up in there.
We'll take a timeout here while Borman is tended to. We'll be back after these messages on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Sponsors of this game broadcast.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Ruhnke Brothers. Experience the Ruhnke Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Tape Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Tom Eichen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Water Connection. From softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Erpeldine Voigt & Company, CPAs, they're not just about taxes.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community. Offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona senior housing and service rooted in God's love.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona. Call 515-320-2491.
Kyle Borman will fortunately jog off the field after being shaken up on the last carry. He did get the first down, though, on that end-around run, and the Golden Bears have moved the chains. They have the ball on the 24-yard line, their own 24 with a first down and 10. 4:20 and ticking here on this running clock. Michael Joyce to the wide side left. Virch will put it into the belly of Marceau. Marceau churning through the middle. Marceau moving his way across the 30-yard line. Modest pickup on the first down carry of about 3 yards.
You know, and that is a problem for the Bears. They don't like you using words like modest pickup, Tyler. They want to hear big gains. I mean, that is 4 yards in a cloud of dust. There's nothing wrong with a 4-yard pickup on first down. But with this offensive line, Coach Wiley wants to see big chunks.
Virch gives off to C.J. McGregor. He's hit in the backfield and he's ripped down. Trenton Franzen knifed in there and dropped McGregor for a 2.5-yard loss, and it'll set up 3rd down and 8.
Now it's their coaching staff showing the experience. They have watched film of Bishop Garrigan's I formation, and they see the play come out, and they're calling blitzes, knowing where the ball's going. That time they called the backside blitz, knowing they were going to be able to catch McGregor from behind. Now they split Joyce wide, look for that tight end pass deep over the middle.
Virch fakes to Marceau. He keeps it, and he fooled everyone. Virch across the 35. He's to the 40. Gets a block from Joyce. There goes Tate Virch. 20, 10, see you later. Tate Virch all the way to the house as once again he keeps it on the read option and totally befuddled the defense.
Well, that was my second guess for the big play. The Bears have a couple big plays they like to dial up. That's a beautiful play by Virch. Boy, you fake the ball to Marceau. Of course, everyone's going to go try to tackle that big guy. He disguises it so well. Such good handiwork by Tate Virch. Boy, fools everybody. Only one man to beat, and that man got blocked by Michael Joyce downfield. Virch just cruises into the end zone.
Golden Bears have Besh coming onto the field late here, and McGregor trying to get lined up for this PAT attempt and figure out who's supposed to be out there. Still plenty of time on the game clock and on the play clock. 11 seconds remaining on the play clock as Virch will hold for Gage Meyer. Meyer got the kick off as that one was almost blocked. A couple guys had their hands up, but the kick is up and good as Bishop Garrigan leads 51-0 after a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown by Tate Virch. Virch in his career, 22 rushing scores coming into tonight, so add number 23 is that ground game now getting in on the action.
Well, that was a tough call because, I mean, you're up 51-0, but this is when good teams get greedy. Like, obviously, the game is well within grasp, but, you know, do you put in the younger guys? Because I'm telling you, this Turkey Valley team is good enough. Their first-team offense is going to score against our younger guys, and is the greed of the Garrigan coaching staff going to want to preserve this shutout? I don't know.
The guys take a lot of pride in getting the shutout, but we'll have to wait and see on that. In any case, though, boy, Beanie, I love that option play between Furch and Marceau.
Yeah,
that has fooled the opposing team so many times this season. Furch is so good at disguising that. Everyone thinks Marceau's the ball, and it helps, too. You see a 230-pound sledgehammer in the backfield. Everyone says, we've got to start Marceau before he gets any momentum and gets going. They all cue on him, and then Furch takes it for a huge gain.
And that mesh in the backfield, they do so well. They make it look so easy. So much practice goes into that. And if you want to see how hard that is, just watch a JV football game.
Meyer will squib it. Franzen bobbles it and fields it at the 25, returns out to the 27-yard line, and he's given a bear hug by Leo Snyder as Dalton Clens helps out there as well. 51-0 Bishop Garrigan, a 3:01 and taking left in this third quarter.
Also, that's Sean Tilges, too, number 12. He put a big hit in there, too. Sean Tilges been getting stronger, playing some linebacker now at the lower levels. I watch a lot of the lower level games, and you see a big difference between the lower levels and the upper levels. But boy, I tell you, the pads crack all the same, even though those bodies are smaller. You get down at that field level, football is a definite violent sport, and that's why it's so much fun.
And especially when you play Bishop Garrigan, there's going to be a lot of black and blue, a lot of ice packs for the opposing teams the next day. As Cruz is over the football, Busta comes out underneath center. He'll give it off to Franzen. Franzen have a little space. He shimmies past the 30-yard line, and he dives forward with a medium pickup of 5 yards on the first down carry. Beanie, we talk all the time about great football action, but, it's a controversial time outside in the news. A lot of scary stories out there, but I've got one of the most important news stories to share with you here of this week.
Not sports-related? I'm so anxious. What's going on?
It depends on how far you want to stretch the definition of sports. So, did you know, Beanie, at Katmai National Park in Alaska, it is Fat Bear Week.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. It is Fat Bear Week. Of course, former science teacher, I know it's Fat Bear Week. I'm loving it. It started on Tuesday. And, yeah.
Handoff goes to Franzen. He'll run left side as Besh jumps on his back. Franzen's limited to a 2-yard pickup. For folks who don't know, every year at Katmai National Park in Alaska, they do essentially what's like a March Madness bracket to see which bear is the fattest.
That's right.
And people get to vote, and eventually there's a winner. But
yeah,
I'll read the qualifications here. Here's what they say you should consider when you vote. You vote for the bear you believe best exemplifies success and fatness in brown bears. So who wouldn't love a competition like that?
Yeah, and if you just go to explore.org, folks, get into this Fat Bear Week contest. It is super fun. You got to vote for those fat bears. I think here in Bishop Garrigan Golden Bear Country, we need to have our own Fat Bear contest.
Yeah, Gary the Bear, where are you at? Franzen takes the handoff left side, and he is blown up in the backfield by Ethan Marceau. Lost about half a yard there, and it's 4th down and a long 2 for Turkey Valley. But Beanie, Fat Bear Week, I've already got my pick set up. It's someone named 32 Chunk. Each bear has a number, but Chunk has a great story, Beanie.
Okay.
He's a portly fellow, but he's really a physical specimen. But here's what happened to Chunk. He broke his jaw, which sometimes in the wild, that may spell the end. If your jaw's broken, yeah, that's tough out there in nature. Nature is cruel, but Chunk eventually adopted and found a way to eat salmon without full use of his mandible. So he adjusted. He made some halftime adjustments. He reevaluated, and he is on his way to potentially winning Fat Bear Week.
I wasn't cheering for Chunk because I didn't know the backstory. Now I got a new favorite.
Pitch play to the outside to Hugo Busta. Gets around the corner, and Busta may have stepped out a little early there. I thought he had the first down, but he was near the boundary and might have stepped out. So the Golden Bears will get the stop there as Busta couldn't get all the way around.
I thought he looked like he got past the chains, but you're right. He must have stepped out of bounds. The defense holds. A lot of high fives out there. And, boy, good job defense, stopping them once again. Boy, so Tyler, end of the quarter, but yeah, we'll
hold that thought,
resume Fat Bear Week on the return.
We are not done, folks. If you don't have time for Fat Bear Week, then you don't have enough time. We'll have more time for Fat Bear Week after this on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
More sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Holmes Animal Clinic. Animals large and small, they love them all.
Hy-Vee, use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fill your car.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
Lichter's Garage Door Service, a reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Blusher's Family Dentistry, serving families since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
And Engineered Farm Drainage, specializing in drainage tile solutions. Visit them on Facebook or engineeredfarmdrainage.com.
The Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears are eating well today, up 51-0 over the Turkey Valley Trojans heading to the 4th quarter. The backup offense is in as Jared Graves is underneath center. He'll give to Carter Sink. Carter Sink lowers the boom on the left side, running into the back of his offensive line and into the defense as he'll pick up 3 yards on that first down pickup.
St. Louis run hard. Sean Tilges, the lead blocker there. Well, Coach Grant Buscherfeld, he's another one of the coaches up here along with Scott Miller that does all the masterminding from the booth and sees what he wants to see down there. And he just left the building, which means it's time for the backups. He's going to go down to the field side. If you're one of the coaches up in the box, you never get to be down there in the sideline. He wants a little piece of that sideline. Good job, Coach Buscherfeld.
This time it is C.J. McGregor taking it off the right side, and he has no room to run.
That's the other 22.
Yeah. Oh,
2 22s.
Beg your pardon, Wyatt Schaefer then. Good catch there, Beanie. Wyatt Schaefer takes the carry right side, but a good tackle made on the boundary by Mitchell Kreiner for Turkey Valley.
Well, these 2 young running backs, Wyatt Schaefer and Carter Sink, they like to just hit. They just are very violent little running backs.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Golden Bears. 11:05 and rolling here on the running clock with a 51-0 score. Graves from underneath center. They'll give it to McGregor, trying to stretch to the outside, and he is knocked down. Spun to the ground that time on a good tackle by Jordan Kreiner, and it'll be 4th and 8 for this Bishop Garrigan offense.
Well, this Turkey Valley team making a lot of substitutes as well. Sometimes, and I don't blame teams for doing this, you see that backup offense or backup defense come in when you're getting beat 51-0, and you want to leave your starters in there just so they can have a little success. But they made a lot of substitutions as well on the Turkey Valley side. Some classy coaches all around tonight.
So it'll be 4th down for the Golden Bears. They'll go for it. 4th and 7 from the 32-yard line. I formation, Graves under center. He's back to throw. Graves looking down the field. He's got Jack Muller wide open, and he overshot him along the near side as Bishop Garrigan coughs it up on downs.
Those young D-backs were totally sucked up on the play action. Jack was wide open, but Graves got a little too excited, seeing 6 points in his lights. All right, back to Fat Bear Week, Tyler.
Beanie, I was going to say that exact thing. We've kept people waiting long enough.
These bears, they go from maybe 600-700 pounds, which is already a big bear. They go all the way up to 1,200-1,300 pounds sometimes, doubling their weight. My question is, are you a fat bear? Do you do this in the winter when the running season is over?
Doubling my weight would not be a good idea, folks. It would definitely cause a lot of pressure in a very short amount of time.
You could double your weight and you'd still be the typical American.
That's probably true, but yeah, I'm not quite as efficient as the Fat Bears are. But, folks, there's a lot of great news articles about that I read about Fat Bear Week as the handoff will go to Schmidt. Schmidt full head of steam. He's across the 40 and takes a big hit that time. Got tripped up at the 38-yard line. Milo Giving got the hit on that one, but 10-yard pickup for Schmidt.
Ooh, good thing Milo Giving made that tackle. Otherwise, the shutout was going to be erased because he had a lot of green in front of him, if not for Milo making that tackle. So here's my suggestion. We pick some Bishop Garrigan students. We make them a partner with one of the Fat Bears. And when you vote for the bear, you're also voting for the student. So we have a fat bear and a fat student. We have a big old contest. Because we are the Bears, after all. The Golden Bears, of course.
It'll be a handoff for Turkey Valley, trying to get it to the outside, and getting around the edge for a nice gain for Turkey Valley is going to be Parker Reichs with 8:54 on the clock. Well, Beanie, I've been trying to say something here, but we keep having action going quickly. But you read a lot of great articles about Fat Bear Week, and a lot of them, they get quotes from park rangers and stuff. And I picked out the best quote from one of these articles. One of the park rangers said, "The Bears are extremely fat this year. I'm looking forward to seeing people react to how fat they are." That's just, if that's not a Woodward and Bernstein level quote that you were able to dig up there, I don't know what is.
Thank you for reading me some news that's other than the news that I've been hearing nonstop.
Handoff go to Schmidt. He bounces to the outside of a nice cut. Surges across the first down line. He's down to the 23-yard line as Turkey Valley now marching down the field. There's actually a reason, though. I was doing some scientific research. People will learn something here, too, instead of us just babbling on about Fat Bear Week. But there's a reason that this year the Bears are fatter than usual. And that reason is it was apparently an exceptional salmon run this year. So the Bears, instead of having to fight for position by the waterfall and wait for the salmon, there was plenty of space. They could spread out, salmon everywhere. So the big salmon population, that increased population, really led to an elite Fat Bear Week this year. Now the running play is driving through the middle and picking up a couple of yards as Parker Reichs.
That makes sense. If you put me in front of a buffet, I'm going to be a fat bear real quick. And even if it's a salmon buffet, not my favorite fish, but I'll eat it. Boy, they're running away from Matt Besh. Matt Besh still in there at nose guard. He plays a lot on the first unit, but he's in there as well. He has to come out because he's got some blood on him, and the referee just noticed it, so Besh is going to come out. They're running away from him, but he just knocked a guy out of bounds a couple plays ago just by shoving him in the back and sending him flying out of bounds. He's got a lot of power. Jack Muller's going to come in from him. So we got Woodrow Wells is the nose guard now, and Jack Muller's going to be the defensive end, and Noah Schaefer, the other defensive end on the three-man front.
7:27 remaining in the fourth quarter as Bishop Garrigan's on top 51-0. The quarterback orchestrating this drive is Langreck for Turkey Valley. He'll give the handoff to Levi Cruz. Cruz trying to get past the line of scrimmage, picks up a couple of yards and sets up third down and about 4.
Nice that we get a couple of juniors in there that would be on the starting unit for many other teams in the state, but here at Bishop Garrigan, they got to be in the second team. You got Carson Seidels out there playing cornerback, Milo Givings the other cornerback. You got Leo Snyder, linebacker, Sean Tilges, linebacker, and Carter Sink also there and at linebacker, and that's the 8.
So third down and 6 for Turkey Valley inside the red power red zone as the handoff goes to Reichs, driving his way for the middle. Yards after contact for Reichs, and he fights his way past the yardage to gain. He's at the 11-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for Turkey Valley with a 7-yard pickup.
Kind of a team tackle there. Noah Schaefer comes from behind, and you see his number. The first number you see is usually the guy that helped out the tackle. You got to look at the bottom of the pile. Who's got the ankles? That's what I want to know.
Down to 6.5 minutes left in this one as Turkey Valley's trying to punch it in for their first score of the game. It's another handoff, this time a run off the left side. And modest gain on that first down carry for Caleb Kreiner. He'll pick up about 3 or 4.
That time it was Sean Tilges up off the bottom of the pile last, had his arms around the ankle. Now a second down, a definite 4-down territory. They've got 3 plays to preserve this shutout. I'm really pulling for this backup defense. Keep these guys out of the end zone. I want to see that goose egg on the scoreboard at the end of this game, but they got to hold them for 5 minutes and 50 seconds of a running clock. It'll go fast, but boy, you can't give up the 6 here.
The Golden Bears have only shut out one opponent this year. That was Riceville in a 52-0 win. Held both St. Edmund and North Iowa to only 1 score. Here's a pitch to the left side. To the 5-yard line, down to the 3-yard line goes Cruz.
Seidels and Schaefer team up to make that tackle.
And it'll be third down. You can't get a first down without a touchdown if you're Turkey Valley. 3rd and 2 from the 3-yard line. Turkey Valley also playing Riceville this year. Opened the season against them with a win in that 3-0 start. But like we said, playing this brutal schedule of Edward Colesberg last week, Garrigan tonight, and then Don Bosco next week. Langred takes it to the right side. He got some space initially, but then the Golden Bears stop him and they push him back. Looked like he had some space to go, but Langreck hesitated there a little bit, and the Golden Bears flowed to the edge for a 1-yard loss.
Wow, great swarming by the defense. Right off the bat, I saw Mueller had an angle, but it looked like he got held a little bit. I wouldn't call it at this point in the game, and I thought, oh, no, they're going to let that go, and they're going to score. But then the Garrigan defense swarms. All everyone else rushes to the ball, preserves that shutout. 4th down and virtually goal here.
So 4th down for the 5-yard line. The 1-yard line is where they need to go for the first down. Hand off to the left side. It's a hit near the line of scrimmage. It's a fight for extra yards. They're near the first down sticks, and they didn't quite get there. The initial hit was applied for Bishop Garrigan by Noah Schaefer. Then it was a fight for extra yards by Reichs, and he nearly got to the sticks, but the Golden Bears swarmed in, and they stopped him on 4th down.
Reichs was fighting with everything he got, and I thought he was going to plow forward and get it, but the defense holds. The sideline erupted. That was as excited as the sideline's been all night, because that starting 8 thrilled to see that the shutout is intact. All right, Lucas Bohanek into the game, another senior. He's going to get a carry here, I suspect. Jared Graves at the helm of the offense.
So now you get to try to get a first down or 2 here for Bishop Garrigan and preserve this shutout as Graves will come out in the shotgun. His heels in the end zone. Low snap gives up to Sink. Sink running off the left side. Sink stumbling forward, breaking a tackle, and has a good pickup on first down as he is knocked down by Wyatt Macklenberg. Gain will go for about 5.
That's a nice job by the Bear offense, getting a little breathing room. They're a little close to the goal line for comfort. Now they can stretch it out or maybe run something a little more unique after that good run by Carter Sink.
Obedi, I'm going to put you on the spot once again.
Oh, I love it. Bring it.
I put you on the spot all the time by forcing you to make predictions. I think that's why you didn't come to the Riceville game. You didn't want to predict the Cyhawk game. But another huge game for Iowa State this week as Sink runs to the right side. He's across the 10. He's to the 15, breaks a tackle. He's to the 17. And out to the 19 goes Carter Sink on a tough run. First down, Golden Bears. But they play Arizona this week. The Big 12 race is getting a little crazy. Texas Tech's up there. Iowa State needs to win to keep pace. Do they do it in a night game this week?
Oh, well, this is a tough one because as a science guy, I'm big on the way science gets into these games, like when a West Coast team has to travel east and play with that time change. On this one, it's how do the Wildcats out in the desert sun come and play in Ames in the fall? But it's going to be hot tomorrow anyway, and they're not used to this Iowa heat. I think that's going to affect those Wildcats. They probably practice inside all the time. I think the Cyclones do too.
First down 10 for the Golden Bears. It's a handoff to the inside. Run by the fullback there. Will pick up about 4 or 5 yards as the carry is delivered there by Sean Tilgis.
Now that I've stalled for 30 seconds so I can think about what's going to happen tomorrow, I will say that it's going to be a very close game, and the Cyclones will win because of a good fourth quarter. But I think it's going to be a tense night for Cyclone fans. I know they're having a wide out. I know they're going to be having a lot of fun, but I think the game on the field is going to be a little discombobulated until the fourth quarter.
All right, here's another question. So, close game goes down to the fourth quarter. Kicker Kyle Conradi is probably out, so will the backup kicker make the game-winning field goal? Here's another handoff to Sink. Sink full out of steam. He's across the 30. He's to the 35. Great running by Sink. Tackled along the knees by Levi Cruz, and the Golden Bears move the sticks again.
Yeah, Sink running hard. Very good JV game last night by that guy. Showing it again tonight on the varsity. So, the question being,
will the backup kicker make the game-winning field goal if Conradi's out?
No. It's going to be even more dramatic. It's going to be a Rocco Becht big pass that sets him up on the goal line right as time expires, and they run it in.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. That's the way it's going to play out tomorrow. In fact, don't even bother watching. We already told you what's going to happen. 1 minute left, and with the first down, Bishop Garrigan will kneel out the clock as Graves will have to take one more knee after this one. But a 51-0 score right now. The Golden Bear defense bode their necks there at the goal line and preserve the shutout. Now the offense will get a couple of first downs here and take the time down.
You know, we've had such a beautiful night of football here, Tyler. We've hardly gone on and on about how nice this weather has been. I mean, it is the end of September, and usually at the end of the games when we're taking a knee, we're putting on the hooded sweatshirts, but here we are, quite comfortable tonight.
Not today, folks, as Graves will take one final knee, and that'll put this one to an end. Bishop Garrigan wins for the 5th time in a row to start the season as the Golden Bears take this one by a final count of 51-0 over Turkey Valley. The #1 ranked team in the state once again plays like the #1 ranked team. They are 5-0 with 5 dominant wins. Turkey Valley, in the midst of this gauntlet schedule, they will fall to 3-2. We'll step aside for a timeout, wrap it up with some post-game thoughts and our player of the game, brought to you by Erpeling and Voigt, all coming up on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC. For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce, 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway, everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Wrapping things up from Conway Field, where tonight the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears blanked the Turkey Valley Trojans by a final count of 51-0. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. Once again, it was an early barrage by Bishop Garrigan, taking command with some first quarter touchdowns, and after that, the defense continued to hold strong throughout the rest of this one, moving the Golden Bears to a 5-0 record. Turkey Valley falling to 3-2. Beanie, every night it seems like there's 10 million players you could shout out, but what are some of the things that stood out to you most tonight from this dominant shutout by Bishop Garrigan?
Well, once again, I really appreciate seeing a team that sticks together, and it doesn't matter if you're losing or winning. High school boys can fall apart real easy on the field, but you really see this team 5 games in, as they're all taking a knee out there, listen to the coaches speak. they really cheer for each other. Like, it's cutthroat out there in practice. They beat the heck out of each other in practice. There's a lot of guys that want to get on the field, and they're trying to beat everybody out. But when it comes to these games on Friday night, I really appreciate seeing these guys celebrate with each other on the sidelines, no matter what grade you're in, rooting for each other no matter what. And we saw that tonight. That stood out a lot to me, the way this team comes together. I think they know that's as important as anything as having the talent, is that camaraderie and that glue, as Marceau leads them out the field as usual. When I talk to the coaches about, or even my son, about how things could go wrong for this world-beating team, and I always suggest, could things fall apart? And the answer is almost always, Marceau won't let it. Every time something starts to get a little wonky, Ethan Marceau, fantastic leader, brings them back together. So that's what stood out to me tonight. Just that this team being prepared and having a great night where they're all in. They're all in for it. They're all in it. They're all participating one way or the other, and that's great to see.
It certainly is, as the Golden Bears win this one tonight 51-0, and a lot of highlights to go through in this game. And I think part of what made this game so excellent for Bishop Garrigan is you saw, of course, some of the normal faces making plays, but you saw a lot of guys who maybe hadn't played the biggest role yet, making big plays and coming through in this one. The first score of the game, Tate Furch rolls out to his right, hits his backup tight end, Hayden Miller, who's filling in for his brother, Mad Miller, who was injured and couldn't play tonight. He runs down the field for a 62-yard touchdown. That's the first score of the game. Later on, you've got a Kyle Borman touchdown going in. Even Marceau scored a couple of times tonight. That's your star kind of taking over. And then we saw Michael Joyce do it on both ends of the floor, or on both ends of the field, I should say. Bishop Garrigan had that one play late in the second quarter where they had the errant snap. Furch picks it off the ground, and then Michael Joyce is just running the go route. Furch throws it out there. Michael Joyce is down there somewhere. He finds him for the touchdown, and the very next drive, Joyce gets a pick six. So, it was kind of a balance. You saw those big plays by the stars, but then, like I mentioned, Hayden Miller making a big play, Kyle Borman. You saw Weston Rosenmeyer make that one-handed catch.
Wow,
a lot of spreading the wealth tonight for Bishop Garrigan.
Oh yeah, they keep you guessing on that offense. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of arrogant in my ability to predict the plays that the offense is going to run. I have no idea which Coach Kesselring and Coach Wiley are going to get to. They're so versatile in their offense, different offensive sets, different positioning, different guys carrying the ball, passing different guys, and that kind of all goes back to Tate Furch, always at the helm. Just does a really great job of including everybody in the offense, and really sees the field exceptionally well, and I think he did that tonight. And that makes the receivers look good, and of course it's vice versa. The receivers running good routes makes Furch look good, but that stood out to me as well in that passing game, that Bishop Garrigan. We used to go games where we look at the stats afterwards and we throw maybe 5-7 passes. I don't know how many we threw tonight, but we're throwing the ball all over the place, and if you're a Bishop Garrigan fan, it's kind of fun to see.
This was really an open up the offense kind of night for Tate Furch, and his final stats won't look as good as he really played because he had some Hail Marys that were incomplete, so that'll kind of take down the completion percentage. But I thought Tate Furch was excellent once again throwing the ball, and he had the one miss where he threw behind a receiver, but once again, just accurate balls. Receivers can catch and run. Very, very receiver-friendly quarterback is Tate Furch, and on a night where Bishop Garrigan opens it up a little bit, we know on normal nights, hey, you might only throw 4 or 5 times, but they show tonight you can throw in the double digits, and Tate Furch can certainly lead the offense effectively if it's pass verse too.
Yeah, and his ball handling in the backfield, those fakes, the first one got you, the second one got me. We think Marceau's got the ball, and then you see Tate Furch going down the field. I know how it feels up here in the booth. How does it feel if you're one of the linebackers and you realize, oh no, that guy's got the ball? That's impressive too. That's a throwback. Marty Wadley learned about the midline read back in the 11-man days, fell in love with it, and he continues to use it in the 8-man game to great success.
Yeah, one read fooled you, one read fooled me, but the thing is, both reads fooled the defense, and that's what mattered for Bishop Garrigan. They went for huge plays, and that's just such a weapon with how well Bishop Garrigan executes that mesh in the backfield. So the Golden Bears win it tonight, 51-0 over Turkey Valley. Golden Bears are now 5-0, and next week will take on North Union, a newcomer to the 8-player game, as they will head to North Union for that one. Turkey Valley will get back to action by hosting Don Bosco coming up next week. Beanie, final thing for tonight, we've got our player of the game to get to, brought to you by Erpelding & Voigt CPAs.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs has a simple philosophy about the way they approach their business. Put people before the numbers. Before they can help you plan for a better financial future, they must have a thorough understanding of where you've been and where you want to go. They listen, then ask the important questions to build long-lasting relationships with their clients. They promise to know you and help you. Erpeling Voigt & Company CPAs. They're more than just taxes.
Beanie, tonight was one of the tougher nights to choose the player of the game, and that's just because of how widely the wealth was spread around, and you're thinking, do we choose someone on defense tonight? Obviously, Bishop Garrigan had great containment on that double wing offense, really stuffed the running game out tonight. Do you choose someone on offense? They spread the ball around so much. Some unsung heroes, some of the normal guys stepping up and making big plays, but we're going to go with one of the unsung heroes tonight. Kyle Borman on offense really got a lot more involved. You know, Michael Joyce is receiver 1A for Bishop Garrigan, but they've got a lot of guys behind Joyce who can make plays, and you saw that with Borman catching the early 11-yard touchdown. They threw him a few more times tonight. Had a huge play that was reduced by a penalty late in the first half. And then they gave it to him on a carry on an end around that went for a first down. I liked the way they used Borman tonight a lot. And again, the final stats might not be eye-popping, but I think his role was immensely valuable in tonight's game.
Yeah, a lot of receivers got in the game tonight, but Borman, he right off the bat, boy, that catch he made for that first touchdown that he scored, he made Furch look good there because that ball was thrown a little low. And Borman slid, kind of slid like he was sliding to third base, blocked the defender with his shoulders, and I thought the defender was going to knock it away, but Borman really positioned his body well, made a nice catch. Then he made another catch to set that up, the play before that, where he really made a nice reception, showed Furch his hands, textbook reception, just another good athlete for the Bears. But, yeah, good job, Kyle Borman. He had a great game tonight, one of those seniors for the Bears. Really contributing.
So Kyle Borman's our player of the game, brought to you by Erpeling Voigt & Company CPAs. Bishop Garrigan winning this one tonight, 51-0 over Turkey Valley. We'll wrap it up for tonight's broadcast. Again, we hope all of you join us next week when Bishop Garrigan takes on North Union. It's back to district play. Golden Bears have 3 district games to end the regular season to try to lock up another district title and get one of those top seeds in the postseason. For my partner, Beanie Bodie, I'm Tyler Lance signing off. This has been a sports production of Home Country Radio KLGZ. Your final score, Golden Bears 51, Trojans nothing.